Padres have off today. They'll start a weekend series tomorrow at Petco Park against the Twins. NBA news, James Harden has agreed on a new 3-year deal worth $97 million to return to Cleveland when he has a player option for the 28-29 season. Harden's career earnings will now reach $511 million, making him only the 4th player in NBA history to eclipse the $500 million mark. NFL news, both the Cowboys and the Saints at Tuesday's joint practice, and we probably have more of that coming because the Dolphins got some fights today. Little League World Series, the team from Sweetwater up in Bonita, they were supposed to play Davenport, Iowa today at 3:00. That game got rained out. It's been rescheduled for tomorrow afternoon at 3:00. Up here in a couple minutes, the team from Tijuana, they're going to take on Sydney, Australia. Run a business and not thinking about radio? Think again, because people are listening to radio more today than they did 20 years ago. And only iHeartRadio connects with more Americans than TV, digital, and even social. Learn how radio can help your business. Call 844-844-iHeart.
It's Schaeffer and Sliwa. Sean Schaeffer. San Diego's own Alan Sliwa. You're Schaeffer and Sliwa.
All right, San Diego and Southern California, what's going on? Hour 1. We're back. Schaeffer and Sliwa, good to see you, my friend.
Thank you, buddy. Good to see you as well. Great to hear that
you're alive.
No, that you officially said, like, an investment I made was a poor investment.
Yeah, he's telling me something off the before you go on the air.
Before we went on.
Sometimes when you have a good relationship with someone, you're willing to be honest with them, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know, like sometimes if you don't, like if I had just met you and you're asking me a question, I'm just going to go along with it. What?
We same colors.
Well, no, I'm Navy. You're black.
Oh, you're Navy?
I'm Navy.
I'm black.
Don't you
I think I'm colorblind.
Is it black, Brett?
That looks black to me.
It looks black to me.
Look, either I'm colorblind.
Put it in the chat. Is this Navy or black?
Either I'm colorblind or you're colorblind.
This
but
is
my
Navy.
girl always tells me, she's like, you're colorblind.
Could be black.
I just think it's funny because I never wear.
We always wear the same thing.
Typically, I don't wear a black shirt.
I
never wear a cream shirt. Yesterday I wore a cream shirt. You go cream. I go black. You go black. What are we doing?
Here's what I was going to say. Because we have this good. If it was our first day meeting and you asked me something, and even if I thought it was the dumbest thing ever, I would tell you how good of an idea.
No, that's really
just
smart.
out of like
I think that's really
respect.
Smart.
You know, like if we met and you showed me your shoes and they were the ugliest shoes in the world, and you're like, hey, what do you think of my cool shoes? I'm like, those are really nice, but I'd be thinking those shoes are horrific.
Yeah.
But now that we know each other, like if I don't like your Sambas, which you're wearing right now, I'd be like, how are you wearing Sambas? It's not 1989.
Could be. Yeah,
as in we're at the point in our relationship where we can be honest.
Now I want to go back to the Sambas here for a quick second. These are kind of ageless.
Are they though?
Oh yeah. You don't think so? You can wear Sambas, I think, at any time. All right, let's go back to the original thing.
Well, you're telling me you made some investment in something.
We're not.
You could share it, I feel like. And share in general terms. The people have to know what we're talking
general
about.
terms would be getting research done on my YouTube channel that you're basically like, hey, you don't need to do that research. And I'm telling you that, well, I already paid for it, so I don't have a choice.
Right. You pay to basically
somebody
optimize,
get under the hood,
like optimize your web.
Yeah.
Your web, because you do a lot of work away from here as well. Like I do, like with whatever, a wrap-up show. So you pay to get it optimized. And I told you, I'm like, I think that's a waste of money.
Yeah, but this is how it happened. You're like,
before the show.
You're like, I think that's a waste of money. Welcome to the Schaeffer and Sliwa show.
Exactly what happened.
I'm John Schaeffer. This is Alan Sliwa. I'm like, wow, that's great. That's good timing on the investment.
Can I make this point about wasting money?
Mm-hmm.
We all do it. Like you almost have to.
How so? Like, what do you mean?
Like, I mean, like I'll give you an example. I'm building a room right now in my house.
I don't think that's wasting money. I think that's actually a good investment.
Potentially.
No, I think it is.
I think to do it.
And it gives you another space inside of your place where you can actually be exclusively there for work.
True, but
until
I'm spending money I don't necessarily need to spend here on this thing. But it's sometimes
where do you do all your YouTube shows?
From my kitchen table.
So this is a good investment.
So, right. I can't be at my kitchen table every single night. Like literally every night at 8:30, my wife goes upstairs because I'm doing a YouTube show. And I'm like, that's not fair.
No.
Or reasonable. So now I'm going to go into my basement.
But initially you told her, hey, I think you should get a studio, like a studio apartment, So when I'm doing my show, you can hang out there.
Yeah, you could just be there.
And then when I'm done, I'll text you and then you could come home.
That's exactly right.
And it's that you're paying for it.
She didn't love it.
She didn't take that idea.
She doesn't love it.
You know, you said you're honest now. You know,
I wasn't honest with you like 4 months ago.
Yeah. I think you know what it was? It was the Monterey trip. Once I slept in.
I'm like, what is the deal? Dude, he slept through the World Cup, dude. I'm opening the blinds up to get sun in your face.
We had a life-defining moment of whether I'm still alive or not.
I was still nervous, though. I was still nervous because I didn't want to like hit you in the face when you were sleeping and be like, wake up. So I just started making noise around the room, assuming you would get up, and you didn't because you were wearing like earbuds or whatever it's called, earplugs. Earplugs.
It was the most unsmooth.
And that's what you said.
I'm like, John, if you want to just wake me up, wake me up. Quit opening and closing the blinds like something's going on.
When you woke up, the first thing you said was, dude, why are you making all this noise? Just like wake me. Like, what are you doing? I'm like, oh, my bad.
That was awesome. Okay, real quick on the being honest part. Somebody has something in their teeth. You say anything or no?
Do I?
No, you don't. I'm just saying.
No, normally I would not.
You have to.
I normally would not.
No, those are important.
I'll say to my wife. I wouldn't say it to you.
You and I are at a SDSU event. I have a freaking something right in the middle of my teeth. You don't pull me to the side for a quick second.
Like a piece of seaweed, like stuck, like a huge piece of green.
It's covering half of my tooth.
Like a full tooth.
Don't pull me to the side.
I may.
And say, Slee, before you talk to the athletic director of San Diego State, you might want to take that thing off of your tooth.
Would you tell me if I had acai bowl just running down my shirt like I did yesterday? That I would. If your shirt was stained,
that's one of my favorite stories that you have told me so far. That story was great, and then you wanted to avoid running into anybody that you knew.
Of course, I then see someone right away. Anyway, where were we?
I think we were talking about how
I know where
I made a poor investment, but before that, I think we wanted to get into sports.
Do you feel bad about it?
No, a little bit.
Yeah, it's like you miss 100% of the shots you don't take, though.
Right.
Which means some shots you're going to take, you're going to miss.
Yeah. But you shouldn't take a shot from half court. That's what I think. There's still 18 left on the shot clock. I don't pull up from half court.
You know, an NBA champ, you're like hitting all the buttons. Like, why are you shooting from the opposite side of the... That's what my 7-year-old does. I'm like, dude, you're supposed to be closer to the rim. A couple of things. We'll get into the Padres, obviously, who are off today. I will say this. Like, I'm a little more concerned today, Alan, than I was yesterday about the tightening wildcard race. Like, St. Louis today scores 6 runs in a 9th
Cardinals
inning.
Might be a little bit of a problem here. They're supposed to fade away.
And they beat the Reds in a wild game, 10-9. Last night, it was actually during our show, Arizona beats Boston at Fenway to salvage a game. They pulled within a game. So Arizona's 1 game back. Correct me if I'm wrong. St. Louis is 1.5 games back of San Diego. This is all of a sudden became a 3-horse race that I thought was a 2-horse race.
Okay, we got a little bit of better news.
Okay.
2.5 is the Cardinals. Is that right?
Oh.
Is it 2.5?
You got me all scared.
I felt like they were closer anyways, but they keep winning. They're 7-3 in their last 10.
2.5?
2.5.
Behind San Diego.
2.5 behind San Diego.
Okay. Yeah, that's not
in Arizona. And Arizona 1 back. And I think you had mentioned St. Louis going with Philly.
They're going to Philadelphia for 3, starting maybe this weekend, or is it today? I don't know. I think it's this weekend.
It has to be this weekend.
They're not playing. They're not going to play in Cincinnati during the day and in Philadelphia at night.
Then a double. Actually, then they're going to New York. They got 1 game against the Mets that they have to make up from April.
Can I tell you something real quick?
Starting tomorrow, and then Arizona's got a 3-game set against Cincinnati, which they'll probably do damage with. Cincinnati's not good.
Can I, since this show's already completely off the tracks?
Yeah.
Can I share a story with you?
Yeah.
On my time in minor league baseball? Out of college, I'm working in Lynchburg, Virginia, Bible Belt, tiny town, right? We did a doubleheader against like their rival in Salem, Virginia. It's an hour away. So there's the Salem team. It's a Red Sox affiliate. There's the Lynchburg team. It's a Pittsburgh affiliate. They're an hour away in Virginia. Someone had the terrible idea. This is like 2005. You can Google this, or 2004. Someone had the terrible idea of playing 1 game in Lynchburg and 1 game in Salem same day. So they played a doubleheader in 2 different cities.
What were the times? I've never heard that.
12-7. Anyway,
Never heard of that before.
The like farm directors or the teams, like the Pittsburghs and the Bostons of it, like freaked out after it. This is like kind of early internet days. It's 20 years ago. It's not like you could never get away with that today.
But it's not even getting away with anything. That's a dumb idea.
I agree with that.
It's just a
It's called
dumb
the
idea.
460 series. That was the road that separated the two towns of Salem and Roanoke and Lynchburg. How dumb is that? I called both those games. It was 2 9-inning games. Minor league games are normally 7 innings for a doubleheader, so they had to use more arms, which the teams hate because now you're throwing 18
And then everyone
innings.
had to shower, clean up, get back on the bus,
and then
and
head back
immediately
after the game.
start warming up. 12-7
like
is
12
not. That's not.
Might have been 11-7. I mean, there was enough time in order to do it. I don't know why. Well, it goes back to I asked if the Cardinals are playing the Phillies tonight, and you're like, no, they can't play in Cincinnati. And in Philadelphia.
It got to listen. Yesterday things got a little tighter. Like we had a quick breath on what's today, Thursday, Tuesday night when Tatis lost it and had some of the coldest moments I've ever seen highlights wise in baseball. Arizona had lost that night as well.
Yeah, it was up to 2 games for a moment.
We got a little kind of starting to feel,
cushion.
Starting to put your feet up, starting to walk around.
Puff
I don't know how you were
down.
walking around.
No, after the Tatis game, I felt good.
I'm walking around like, do you guys forget who the San Diego Padres are?
Forget about Tatis?
See that San Diego right on this guy's chest? And then 12 hours later,
they do nothing.
They did nothing, and a couple other squads won. It kind of it brings you back to reality a little bit.
Would you say, or would you be like, what's your temperament? Concerned, cautious, still feel good about them? Like, what's your state?
They got work to do. Like this is. Let's put it this way. I think if they're gonna grab that final wild card spot, I still think between them, Arizona, and if you want those St. Louis in the mix, I still like the Padres' chances of grabbing that final wild card spot. But I don't know if this is going to be one of those you can lose 4 or 5 or lose a couple series in a row and think you're still like in the driver's seat.
I agree.
Because other teams, this happens, it in baseball. What has St. Louis got to lose? They got nothing to lose. I know Arizona's got a lot on their shoulders, so they're expected. I think beginning of the season, they were expected to make the playoffs or at least be in the mix, and they are in the mix. But I think there's a piece of this. The more confidence you can give another team, that's just you're fighting with your what's the saying? You're fighting with fire, flirting with fire, whatever it is. Like you're don't get too cute here. You still got you might have gone through a stretch where you looked great. You might have gone through a stretch where you passed 4, 5, 6 teams in the NL. The job's not done, and it's nowhere near being done. They got still 34 games left. I think it's 34. Around that number is what they have left. They still got a lot of baseball in front of them in order to make it happen.
And you remember my goal, and we'll see if they can make it happen.
And if they want that to happen, that's a whole different conversation.
My goal is be 4 up with 3 to play before Arizona gets here. Yeah. But my real goal is just make the postseason. But I'd love to see them have clinched heading into that Arizona series.
Yeah. And apparently the clinching and trying to get that done by I think their last 6 games, isn't it Dodgers in Arizona?
And I want to say that's Dodger Stadium.
I think that's
so. My dream scenario is clinching a playoff spot at Dodger Stadium before the Arizona series.
Okay,
that's my dream scenario for right now.
Here's my dream scenario:
winning the World Series.
Just in the regular season.
You can't win the World Series in the regular season.
Cannot, but just in the regular season, my dream scenario. Yeah, as long as they got, you tell me Saturday and Sunday they got nothing to play for and they could start lining things up, I'm okay with that. And I got no problem at all closing it up in San Diego. I don't care about closing it up at Dodger Stadium. They'll have sealed up the NL West 1 month prior.
But I care because I don't want, because if you get to the Arizona series and you haven't clinched, that means Arizona could knock you out still. Because if you get to the Arizona series, 3 up with 3 to play and they win 3 and they have the tiebreaker, I don't want that scenario. Nope.
I'm with you. I get that. But if you dropped 3 in a row
it's
at
on
home,
you. I agree. It's on you.
So just go handle your business. And wherever it lands, it lands. I just give me Saturday and Sunday that they got nothing to play for.
Yeah, so you don't have to pitch Michael King on Sunday.
Give me Saturday and Sunday.
Tuesday.
You got nothing to play for.
I'll tell you what would help them get to that situation that we're asking for. Better play from these 2 players. And we'll tell you who those 2 players are on the other side. Plus, how about this? Matt Devine, DSG, Padres Collective, and more will join us coming up at 4 p.m. Great show lined up. Matt Johnson, San Diego State's offensive coordinator with the Aztecs 16 days out. He'll join us at 5 p.m. Schaeffer and Sliwa, San Diego Sports 760. We're live on the iHeartRadio app. Something big is coming on September 2nd. DraftKings Game Day arrives with massive deals, exclusive deals, and an all-day celebration built for sports fans. The countdown has begun. All roads lead to game day.
The DraftKings Sports app is now live in all 50 states. That means California, from Texas to Florida. Every fan is in on the excitement. One app, every sport, all 50 states. DraftKings Game Day is yours. Remember the date, September 2nd. DraftKings Game Day is the kickoff of a new season, a new era, and the biggest day in sports history. You should get pumped up about it. Get ready to celebrate. New DraftKings customers, sign up with the code SD760. Spend $5 to get 150 in rewards within 14 days. That's code SD760.
In partnership with DraftKings, the crown is yours. Event trading offered by DraftKings Predictions, a CFTC registered introducing broker. Trading involves risk of loss. Market availability varies. Eligibility restrictions apply. $50 every 7 days via click to claim. Issued in non-withdrawable predictions dollars that expire in 1 year. Ends August 23rd. Terms dkng.co/predictions promo. Nationwide based on sportsbook predictions and free-to-play sports contest availability. Varies by state.
All right, with the iHeartRadio app, you can stream us wherever you are 24 hours a day. Just search for San Diego Sports 760 to stream us live all day, every day. You can leave your comments for us by using that talkback microphone. Tell us what you like, what you didn't like, what you want us to talk about. Make us a preset so we can pop up each time you open up the app. San Diego Sports 760, always live on the iHeartRadio app.
You know, it would go a long way, Alan, for the Padres, other than winning games, which would go a long way. How about Jackson Merrill and Manny Machado playing up to their abilities? Now, you might say, well, is that fair on Jackson Merrill? Well, his road trip was really bad. 2 for 24. Okay, 6 games, but that's not good. And then Manny's month, and we know the year's been bad. His month has been also bad. He's got a 591 OPS, under 600. He's hit 1 home run this month. We just saw it 2 days ago. So it's concerning, right? The way Machado and Merrill have played here recently, that's got to at least be a talking point.
One of the things that I thought when the Padres were balling out, they were doing what they were doing. I thought there was almost like, hey, they can do all this, and Manny still hasn't got it going on a consistent basis. Manny's had moments. I mean, he's up to 20 plus home runs, whatever it is, but his average is awful. He's clearly not having a Manny Machado type of season. Right. But I thought, all right, they might be okay just merely based off of, look at all these other guys that are going, Manny will eventually turn it around. The Merrill one scares me more than maybe that one scares me more. I know, like you said, it's a much smaller sample size. The problem with, I think with Jackson Merrill, it's like you want him to think less. You want him to just go out there and play. But damn, some of the pitches he swings at, like he does not have this feel for the strike zone. And he looks like he's all over the place with some of his swings. Yep. And when you're that young, momentum is probably everything. Like Manny can still walk home or he could go home and be like, I'm still Manny 100%. Effing Machado. I'm going to figure this out. And once I click a little bit, I can go for a month where my numbers are just unreal.
Good point.
Hopefully. The Jackson Merrill piece, it's like, I need Merrill to know that he's good to go and he's so young and inexperienced and I'm sure emotional and everything else. You need one of those two guys. If Tatis is doing what he's doing, you got Ty France, you got a couple of these guys that are contributing, but Merrill and Machado cannot both be bad at the same time, just like it was awful when either all three of these guys were bad or it was Tatis and Merrill. Like, you need two of these three guys to be clicking.
Yeah, there was 1 month in there, I would say, from All-Star break until, let's say, the last week. They really were going as an offense. A lot of the statistics suggested they were one of the top 3 teams in baseball in a lot of offensive categories. Simple things like runs scored or home runs or batting average, right? They were really good. But more recently, and it is a smaller sample size, the 6-game road trip, now they played bad teams. Like Cleveland and New York are not good, and they went 3-3, and their offense really was all over the place. They'd have a good game, then a bad game, a decent game, then a bad game. Well, does that change coming home? I still feel as if the offense is way better than it was, even off the 3-3 road trip where they struggled to score at times. I hope I'm proven correct in saying that I feel as if the offense has turned a corner, but they got to play well against both Minnesota and Pittsburgh coming up for me to dig deeper in that, like have a stronger vindication in that take.
Yeah, I mean, I think, listen, they're in a weird position because it's not like they have the luxury of they're going to make the playoffs either way.
Right.
But let's just assume, even if I could kind of separate these, but I think there's a consistency to them. If Jackson Merrill and Manny Machado have struggles the rest of the way, my concerns of them making the postseason it goes up.
High, right.
If you have between Tatis, Jackson Merrill, and Manny Machado in a wild card series, a 3-game set, if 2 or 3 of those guys are not performing, I don't think you're moving on. So it's like, it's so integral to how they've put themselves in this position. The offense was humming. Jackson Merrill was phenomenal. And you kind of felt like, again, I know it's a short sample size here, but he was really bad on this road trip. You're going to need more from those 2 players. So there is a concern. There's a concern that anytime that you have, if Tatis, who will probably go on some type of a slide between now and the end of the season, if that slide is extended, of course you're going to be concerned. Those are your 3 main players right now. And
some people might be listening and be like, guys, are you being fair to like Machado and Merrill? Like, hasn't this team been playing well? Hasn't the offense been good? I mean, the truth is, if you like widen it out and look at their years, both of their years have been very subpar. I mean, Manny, a 712 OPS, It's going to be his worst year of his career if this is where he finishes. And Jackson Merrill, despite the 9 home runs post All-Star break, he led baseball at one point in that category, has an OPS under 700 for the season. That's 70 points below his career average. So they haven't performed. They have in stretches.
They had moments.
Yes. But as we always say, in 162, it's like saying we have segments. I mean, we do a show every day. You better have moments.
Yeah.
You know, they need more than moments because of what they're asked to do.
Yeah, you can't, if we're using this as an example, it's like you can't have 60% of your show be bad. And it's like, yeah, but remember that 40%? I think these players, and again, I go back to it. Our conversation is so much better about the Padres today than it was right after the All-Star break. But if they're going to finish this thing off and get one of these wild card spots, their offense was the reason why they're in the position they are today. Because their offense all of a sudden woke up and became one of the better offenses in all of baseball. We talked about this a little bit yesterday. I don't need them to be first in all these offensive categories over this stretch, but I can't have them be 30th as well. Can we meet somewhere in the middle? That's all everybody's asking for. Just their main players who are getting paid the most need to come through over this last stretch of 34 games, or we are going to have a struggle of getting that final wild card spot.
All right, this is interesting. On the other side, a YouTuber runs into Joe Musgrove, and Musgrove provides a timeline on his return, and we'll share that with you coming up on the other side. Plus, coming up at 4 p.m., Matt Devine, Devine Sports Gospel, much more on the Padres off today, opening a 6-game homestand against the Minnesota Twins tomorrow night at Petco Park. Plus, we're giving away a 4-pack of tickets to see My Chemical Romance on August 30th at Petco Park. So be listening for those tickets here on Schaeffer and Sliwa, San Diego Sports 760, live on the iHeartRadio app.
Here's what's trending from the iHeart Sports Network, presented by iHeartAdvertising.com. The Padres have off today. They'll start a weekend series tomorrow down at Petco against the Twins. And NBA news, James Harden has agreed to a new 3-year, $97 million contract to return to Cleveland with a player option for the 28-29 season. Harden's career earnings now will reach $511 million, making him only the fourth player in league history to eclipse the $500 million mark. NFL news, both the Cowboys and the Saints got fined $500K today for all the fights that they had at their joint practice on Tuesday. Running business and not thinking about radio? Think again, because people are listening to radio more today than they did 20 years ago. And only iHeartRadio connects with more Americans than TV, digital, and even social. Learn how radio can help your business. Call 844-844-iHeart.
All right, Schaeffer and Sliwa, San Diego Sports 760. Matt Devine will join us coming up at 4 p.m. Great influencer on all things Padres.
Is it a cord?
I have a bit of a cord issue.
Okay, which is it for the phone or is it for the camera? Because you've cursed at this camera, which I'm telling you right now on my side.
Yeah.
It's been amazing. I've had no problems with this cord up to this point until this morning or this afternoon when we walked in. I don't know who was in here, brother.
I know. What was going on there?
Did
you notice that, Brent? We can't hear you. Oh, it stems back to our broadcast last night because they have to reconfigure things for the television because that's right. That makes sense. That makes sense because the team was on the road and the broadcast was.
Got you.
That makes sense. That makes sense.
Well, I'm a creature of habit. So when I walked in, I looked around. I'm like, what's going on here? What happened here? I could sense somebody was in here. So then I put a Ring camera in. I got a Ring camera now. It's in this corner. So anytime something happens, it actually goes off like a siren if somebody comes in here without us.
Speaking of SDFC, so they win at LAFC this past weekend. We have to. That's our job. They win this past weekend, but they lose Anders Dreyer in that match to 2 yellows. So he was unavailable last night, and they fall in Portland in a critical match. They lose 3-1, and they fall further back in the West.
Could I be critical on the best player for SDFC real quick?
Sure.
What the hell was he doing on Saturday?
You're saying with the multiple yellows.
What are you doing? First
shirt
off,
you take yellow.
What's that?
The shirt off was the automatic yellow.
You take off your shirt, and after he hits his penalty kick, listen, I get it. He's excited. All right, fine. You're going to do that. You get another yellow with about 30 seconds left to play. What's the point of beating LAFC if now they don't have their best player in Portland?
And I watched that. I watched that live. It was like a hard tackle. Near midfield. Yep. To your point, I don't know. Maybe if he doesn't make it, does LAFC have a chance there or not? I mean, it's final 30 seconds.
This is not a one-on-one break or anything like that.
It wasn't a breakaway.
I mean, there's still a lot of players that were in front of him.
That's a good point.
There's 30 seconds left in the match.
Right.
But I go back to my point. Okay, how about this then? If that's what you're going to do, you already have a yellow card for taking off your jersey.
So you can't afford another.
So what are you taking that chance for? My point is this, and I watched probably from the 40th minute on yesterday. I watched that entire game against Portland.
And they tied it up. You texted me when they tied it up.
They got their asses kicked. I mean, possession in the second half was pretty much all Portland. Portland was putting pressure on. SDFC had a couple of chances, a couple of plays that really just didn't go their way. Unbelievable stops by the goalie from Portland. One where the ball literally just hit his face. Like you put the ball anywhere you want. It hit him in the face. And it saved that goal. But in the second half, I mean, Portland was just better. But I'm going to go back to what I just said. If you're Anders Dreyer and you know how desperate SDFC is right now to try to get points, to try to get back into the mix. Saturday's win was signature. It was an amazing win. But you walk away from that game, it's like, well, what if they don't get any points in Portland? What does it matter that you beat LAFC? And what does it matter if Anders Dreyer isn't there? That was very, very frustrating to watch. And, unfortunately yesterday, if you felt like SCFC was starting to take some steps forward, I read something this morning in the UT. They haven't won 2 matches in a row.
Since very early.
Two MLS matches in a row since the first month of the season.
Yeah,
I mean, this is this is definitely not the squad that we were watching last year. And maybe what people have been telling us about how a lot of people have kind of caught up to what SDFC style is. And last year they got to watch them. Now they have some film on them. But wildly disappointing game yesterday and just absolutely killed any momentum that SDFC was building up.
I mean, and to be honest, well, it's not late. It's getting late when you're in 13th place. And yeah, you're within a handful of points of being in a playoff position. And yes, we know that anything can happen in the postseason, but if you're getting in as the 8th or 9th best team in the Western Conference,
I don't think they make the postseason.
I think it's still too early. I mean, aren't they 3 points out of a playoff spot?
I agree it's too early, but they're not. There's no momentum. That's like
I know they had a little bit for a brief period,
for a quick second, and they got demolished yesterday.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm just frustrated by yesterday's game, but the Dryer thing, it's just that's the sloppy like that for a player like that of that caliber. He could not put SDFC in that position for not being able to be there in this game against Portland.
Hear me out. 4 of their next 5 are at home. So let's look up after those 5 matches. Did they win 3 of them?
That's fair.
With 4 of 5 at home. That's Colorado and LA Galaxy at home. You're in Orlando, then San Jose and Philly at home. Can you win 3 of your next 5 matches and get a point or 2 elsewhere? Because I think the conversation maybe changes then. But to your point, if they don't play well over the next 4 or 5 matches, it's becoming more and more challenging to reach the postseason.
This whole season has been a disappointment so far. Can it change? Sure, of course it can. But last night was wildly frustrating. And again, if you're Andre Stryer, you can't put yourself in this position where you're not there for your team in such a critical game against Portland. It takes away the whole purpose of winning at LAFC.
No doubt. All right. So the update on Joe Musgrove comes from a YouTuber in New York. Is that accurate? The Twitch streamer? How do you even say this guy's name? FaZe Rug?
I think so. Yeah, I think
the F and the Z are capitalized, but the A and the E aren't in his first name. And he's a Padres fan?
Apparently a Padres fan, and randomly at a restaurant caught up with him, said hello to him, and Musgrove was giving love to him just in the sense of him being a Padre fan, and called him kid was calling him a legend, a San Diego legend. So I guess, and I listened to it, and we don't have to play it or anything like that, but the injury update, it's Musgrove telling him that he'll be back in the next couple of weeks. So if you're not getting the breaking news from one of these reporters, you might be getting it from a YouTuber. I'll just say this. I'll say this on the Musgrove piece. He by far, if we were talking about Joe Musgrove in the past, there really wasn't much to talk about that you were feeling confident in. Now it's almost like, I don't know how you feel about Musgrove, but now I'm kind of at the point where I'm just expecting him to be up with the Padres in the next couple of weeks and be active.
I'm expecting him to be active, but I'm not expecting maybe what others are, which is him having this huge impact. Okay. I hope he's healthy. And the reason I say that is the Tommy John, obviously. And even I don't take away a ton from minor league numbers on rehab starts, but we should recognize that it's been very up and down. He hasn't had these unbelievable outings so far in his rehab stint. Here's the best part. His velocity is up. That's great. And he's been healthy. So that's really, really good. But I don't know, man. You're being thrown into the fire. It's a pennant race. You haven't pitched in 2 years. Do I expect him to have great numbers? I don't know. To be honest, I don't. I'm hopeful, but that's not my expectation.
All right. So you don't have, and what do you think most Padre fans are thinking? What?
I don't know.
They just automatically, no, because this happens all the time. It's the name. You only remember the name.
Right.
You're not thinking of what the name is today. It's like a lot of, you'll get a player that joins a team and you're like, oh my gosh, I got this player. Yeah, but he's 38. He's washed and he hasn't hit.
It was like the Tyson fight on Netflix I got roped into 3 years ago against one of the Paul brothers. I'm like, hey, you never know. And I turned the thing on. The guy's like, knee. He can't even move. You know what I mean? It's like, but I think it's still 1999.
Did you have to, you didn't pay for that because you already had Netflix? Was it
I was at Circa in Vegas. So it was just on.
But you watched it?
I watched it.
I got roped into it too.
I think.
I got roped into it too.
Yeah, because it's Tyson. Yeah, but he's 60. It turns out it's not 29.
Everyone just wanted to see Jake Paul, I think. Everybody just wanted to see him get knocked out.
Yeah.
But so I think if you believe that most fans think that, hey, this is going to be the Joe Musgrove of 2023, 2024, 2022. If you think most people are thinking of it that way, I agree with you. I don't think that's a fair assessment.
Mm-hmm.
But what would you be impressed by? Like, if Joe Musgrove comes back, you've kind of you're hesitating on what you think he can do. What does he need to do where you'd be like, all right, he's ready to contribute? He's like, what would surprise you? Let's put it that way.
What would surprise me is if we looked
I
up
don't know how low your
outings,
bar is for him.
If we looked up in 4 outings and he had a sub 4.5 ERA, that would surprise me. And it would also surprise me if in any of those 4 outings he went 6 innings. So that's where I'm starting. I'm expecting 3 to 5 inning stints.
Okay.
High 4s to high 5s ERA, for example. And again, don't take this as gospel because minor league rehab numbers don't necessarily matter. He's got a 6 ERA and 3 rehab starts. He's allowed 17 hits and 10 2/3 innings. So just let's recognize that. So let's 17 hits and 10 2/3 innings with a 6 ERA and 3 rehab innings where he's going 10 2/3 innings. So if he's sub 4.5 ERA, if he's working deep into games, that's going to really impress me and that's going to surprise me.
And what's more realistic?
I think somewhere between 4.5 and 5.5 and 3 to 5 innings per outing. And hopefully that's good enough to keep this team.
What is
I
mean, is there a world where his just stuff's not good enough and they just are like, yeah, we'll use you for a couple of innings? And
I hope not. But there is a world where in the postseason, that's going to be his job. He's coming out of a bullpen.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I hope there's not a world where he's so ineffective that he's not even on a postseason roster.
Sure.
But that's also possible.
Yeah, but I think at this point, everything's got to be based off of, are you being effective or not?
Yeah, I agree.
And there can't be but it's Joe Musgrove. Right. And there can't be, by the way, I'm sure if you're Musgrove, you don't want to be labeled into any of that as well. You want to be an effective pitcher that's obviously contributing to a potential playoff run for the Padres. Yeah, I think that expectation is interesting because
what's your expectation, or what do you think plays out over a month of baseball?
It's so hard to gauge, but what I'll give this guy, I know he's a workhorse. I know he's a crazy competitor. He's been waiting for this moment for 2 years. I mean, I think overall, if you're expecting, you're probably going to get shorter versions of a good Joe Musgrove, not longer versions and not a great Joe Musgrove. But I could see him eventually being a player that just gives you a handful of innings when you need it.
Which is good.
Come more key moments, key situations. But that's also a lot to ask for. And by the way, how do you predict how somebody's going to do when they haven't pitched in 2 years?
Well, that's the problem. How do you predict someone's going to be really effective when they haven't pitched in 2 years? All right, we'll stay on the Padres on the other side. What the current ownership group is going to be doing for the members of the Padres staff after the sale, right? They've sold to Jose Feliciano and Kwanzaa Jones. What's the current ownership group doing for the current staff of the San Diego Padres? Plus, Matt Devine from Devine Sports Gospel will join the show. Coming up at 4 p.m., Matt Johnson, San Diego State's offensive coordinator at 5 p.m., Schaeffer and Sliwa, San Diego Sports 760. We're live on the iHeartRadio app.
All right, SDFC.
Oh, you were just going off.
Yeah, I was upset at them. Back at home at Snapdragon Stadium Saturday when they take on Colorado. Our coverage with Adrian and Darren begins at 7 p.m. on your home for SDFC. San Diego Sports, 760. Where's Colorado in the standings? Have they shot up? Where's Colorado?
I was just looking at the standing, actually.
7th.
All right. That's
they
a big
got
match.
28 points.
That's a big match. Here's the thing. You were upset about SDFC, but this is what you do kind of with family. It's like when Tatis wasn't playing well to start the year.
Yeah.
It's like I get mad because I want like what's best for him. Seriously. You know, like it's Fernando Tatis Jr. Like he's part of the fam. Like we've watched him at his best. SDFC, MLS now. Last year, incredible. Like you want them to do well. That's where it's
100%.
That's the place it's coming from.
It's got a lot to do with it. It's got a lot to do with it. And there's a little overreaction there of the whole
that's fine.
They're not going to make the playoffs.
That's what, dude, how many times do you or I ever do a YouTube show? You talking NBA, me talking Padres. And after a game, like they start 2-5, like this ain't it. Season over. How could you hire Craig Stammen? Like it's 7 games.
Michael King hit a 2-run homer, or they hit a 2-run homer off King yesterday.
Okay.
And I did my regular text to you of I use a curse word.
Yeah, you did.
There's 4 letters in total.
It started with
in the curse word. It starts with F as in Frank.
Exactly.
Right.
And I always write back, it's early.
It's early.
But you were right. You were right.
One of the by the way, I loved when you said it was early.
I thought
because that's happened a couple of times
that they've won.
And everything's kind of worked out. Yesterday I was waiting. I'm like, yeah, this ain't happening.
I know, and it didn't. You were right yesterday. This I find to be cool. In this world of professional sports where the rich do get richer, whether it's the players or the owners, to give back to an actual staff that isn't ownership or players, I think is refreshing. And Kevin Acey reporting this afternoon, our Padres insider, that the current ownership group is bonusing both full-time and part-time Padres employees with the sale now completed. That every member of the Padres staff, full and part-time, will be bonused. I don't know to what extent by the current ownership group. I find that refreshing, right? In these $4 billion sales, you typically think who does it really benefit, right? But here, hopefully it's benefiting, people that are working in like the ticket office or in concessions or, on the field.
I'm going to give this thing the credit it deserves. I'm not going to look too much into it. I don't know all the full details there. Obviously, I have no idea. Hey, what does this mean? What kind of bonuses? Is it a percentage of what you're making? Yeah. And it shouldn't. Like that's going to be private information, but it's a good look. It's a good look. And I think if you're new ownership, and this isn't, maybe it is an uncommon practice. If you're taking over a sports franchise, we got one of the 4 major sports that are here. To be honest with you, there's a lot of risk in having new ownership. I think that the Peter Seidler era with the San Diego Padres, listen, if you told me, and God willing, that Peter Seidler was healthy and he had 20 more years left in his life, I don't know what that could have looked like. I just know that there was a true, I want to try to win for San Diego. I care about San Diego. I care about the fans. And everybody embraced him like he was, obviously a special person in the community of San Diego. New ownership's coming in, John. Just naturally, like I have this thing of like, oh yeah, you're going to try to do nice things in the beginning, this, that. I think it's because you've just seen it happen so much in the business where people do get burned. Yeah. Or owners do come in and they don't give a flying, about whether your city is successful or the team is successful. They got this little Excel spreadsheet that says we're making this much money, we're losing this much money, and that's all they care about. This is a good look for the new ownership group. Obviously, this is making the UT and it's making the rounds, and we're talking about it. It's a good look. Let's put it that way.
This is what Kevin writes today. Padres employees were notified via email on Thursday they'll receive bonuses early next week when the transfer of ownership to the group led by Jose Feliciano and Kwanzaa Jones is completed. And the bonuses will be paid to full and part-time employees. Sometimes we forget. Like, we think of an organization where like Peter Seidler this, or AJ Preller that, or Manny Machado this. There's a lot of people behind the scenes that play critically important roles to the success or lack thereof of an organization. Not to say Seidler's group didn't play an important role. Of course they did, along with AJ Preller, along with Manny Machado. But there's a lot that goes into that. The front office that Preller has, the team behind the 26-man roster that the Padres have is a massive team.
Communications department,
right,
ticket sales,
and they work,
go through.
And you and I work in sports or on the periphery of sports. There's a lot that goes into it that people don't see. There's a lot that goes into it.
Again, good look. That's and the timing of it, and they're definitely smart to do this, and it's a great feel-good story, and it's a good start for them as Monday rolls around and that introductory press conference will be held.
Yeah, because listen, there'll be other things to be critical about. They are raising ticket prices, for example, in 2027. If there is a 2027, season ticket holders get mad about that. This season has not been perfect.
Yeah,
one game up in a playoff spot, right?
Go to a game. It ain't cheap.
Right. And no doubt.
And by the way, this isn't just the San Diego thing.
No, of course not.
I think this is, across all major sports and concerts and anywhere that you go, things aren't cheap. And there's a lot of places, there's a lot of things to complain about. But again, that's a good look from new ownership to maybe that creates a bond within their employees that they're taking over and the business they're taking over that people will remember.
I agree with you. Padres, by the way, opening a homestand tomorrow. Minnesota will be here for 3. Pittsburgh will be here on Monday. The new ownership will be introduced on Monday. We plan to be there Monday afternoon with new ownership being introduced down at Petco Park. All right, Matt Devine, Devine Sports Gospel, great content creator around the Padres. He will join us on the other side. We'll get into what's at stake with this upcoming homestand for San Diego. Plus, in the 4 o'clock hour, your chance to win a 4-pack of tickets to see My Chemical Romance. That's on August 30th at Petco Park. Tickets at Ticketmaster.com. But Matt Devine, DSG, joining us live next on Schaeffer and Sliwa, San Diego Sports 760. We're live on the iHeartRadio app. Something big is coming on September 2nd. DraftKings Game Day arrives with massive deals, exclusive deals, and an all-day celebration built for sports fans. The countdown has begun. All roads lead to Game Day.
The DraftKings Sports app is now live in all 50 states. That means California, from Texas to Florida. Every fan is in on the excitement. One app, every sport, all 50 states. DraftKings Game Day is yours. Remember the date, September 2nd. DraftKings Game Day is the kickoff of a new season and the biggest day in sports history. Get pumped about it. Get ready to celebrate. New DraftKings customers sign up with the code SD760. Spend $5 to get 150 in rewards within 14 days. That's code SD760.
In partnership with DraftKings, the crown is yours. Event trading offered by DraftKings Predictions, a CFTC registered introducing broker. Trading involves risk of loss. Market availability varies. Eligibility restrictions apply. $50 every 7 days via click to claim. Issued in non-withdrawable predictions dollars that expire in 1 year. Ends August 23rd. Terms dkng.co/predictions promo. Nationwide based on sportsbook predictions and free-to-play sports contest availability. Varies by state.
Here's what's trending from the iHeart Sports Network, presented by iHeartAdvertising.com. Padres have off today. They start a weekend series at Petco tomorrow against the Twins. NBA news: James Harden and the Cavs have agreed on a new 3-year deal worth $97 million with a player option for the 28-29 season. Harden's career earnings will now reach $511 million, making him only the 4th player in league history to eclipse the $500 million mark. One NFL note: both the Cowboys and the Saints were fined $500,000 for their fights that they had at this week's joint practice on Tuesday. Run a business and not thinking about radio? Think again, because people are listening to radio more today than they did 20 years ago. And only iHeartRadio connects with more Americans than TV, digital, and even social. Learn how radio can help your business. Call 844-844-iHeart.
It's Schaeffer and Sliwa. Sean Schaeffer and San Diego's own Alan Sliwa. You're Schaeffer and Sliwa.
All right, hour 2, San Diego Sports 760. This is going to be fun. Matt Devine back with us on 760. I think first time, though, on Schaeffer and Sliwa. Great content provider for Padres fans. DSG, Divine Sports Gospel. Of course, you can catch him as well with me and Kevin Acey on the Padres Collective. Matt, hope you're doing well, man. Thanks for hopping on, dude.
Absolutely, John. Great to hear from you. And Alan, I hope you're having a great day. Thank you so much for having me on.
Thank you, man.
All right, let's start here. So 34 games remaining. Padres, as we talked about last night, Matt, are playing well, but all of a sudden you look up, all right, they're a game up on Arizona. St. Louis just won a wild game today. They're still a couple of games behind San Diego. But how are you feeling as a lifelong Padres fan with 34 games to go about where the Padres are situated now?
Yeah, I honestly feel pretty good. I think that 6th seed is probably the seed we're going to go for and compete with, Arizona and St. Louis. I know Miami's only 4 games back, so if they lose or have a bad series, they're probably going to be pretty much out of it. I think it's a 3 kind of horse race right now for that 6th seed. I'm assuming that either Atlanta or Philly will get that 5 seed, the other winning the East. I feel pretty good. I think AJ did a really good job at the deadline. He kept Ethan Salas, which is all I really wanted, and he got 2 guys back that can give us some solid innings. I'm not, saying Robbie Ray is going to pitch a perfect game in the playoffs. I don't think that's going to happen, but hey, he could probably go 1 or 2 times to the lineup and do a decent job. Our issue this past series against the Mets was not the pitching. So, I think we have a good shot if Tatis plays like how he's been playing. You get Merrill back going a little bit. I think we're the most talented of those 3 teams remaining, and comparing us to St. Louis and Arizona.
Matt, we were talking a little bit earlier, and what do you think are fair expectations for Joe Musgrove? When and if he can make his way back? Certainly, it feels like he's on his way. A lot of people are going to look at Joe Musgrove, and they're going to think about what he has been for the San Diego Padres, but he has not pitched since October 2024. So with that in mind, what are you expecting? What do you think is fair for when he does make a return?
Yeah, it's a great question, Alan. It's great to hear that he's on the mend a little bit. Obviously, as Padres fans, everybody loves Joe. It's been a tough couple of years with injuries. So I think what we'll get out of Joe realistically is the first couple starts, maybe, 3-4 innings here and there, see how he's pitching. If he can show us that he can give us 1 or 2 times throughout the lineup, you put him in the pen during the, wild card series. If we do make it, that could be a valuable piece. I'm not expecting him to start any games in the playoffs, transparently. So we'll see, we'll see what happens. I did see the stats that he's throwing hard. He also is getting hit pretty hard. So it is El Paso, so you can only take those stats with a grain of salt. But him coming back is just another piece that, Craig can be creative with. I would not assume he's going to give us quality starts in the playoffs, though, or down the stretch.
Yeah, I'm like dipping my toe in. It's an amazing story, and I hope he pitches well. I hope he stays healthy, but I don't have overly high expectations. I don't even know if I have expectations, truthfully, when it comes to Musgrove. Matt Devine is with us, DSG, joining us, Schaeffer and Sliwa, San Diego Sports 760. So Monday's a big day because this new group is being introduced. Jose Feliciano, Kwanzaa Jones, there'll be media there. It'll take place early in the afternoon before the Pirate series. As a Padres fan, a diehard Padres fan, is there anything you're hoping to see or hear coming out of their introduction to the media?
Yeah, I mean, I'm excited to kind of just, hear from them. I haven't really heard either of them really talk about, obviously a couple press statements like the San Diego Union Tribune, but yeah, I'm really excited to just kind of hear their thoughts. I think we as Padres fans were spoiled to an extent with Peter and how just open he was to the media. I don't think a lot of owners are like that. That being said, you're buying a franchise where, we're really the show in town when it comes to sports in San Diego, at least currently. And, we're one of the few, I think you mentioned this, John, on Padres Collective. It's one of the few teams that hasn't won, the big one, right? So you're buying a team that has a shot, that has a really, really good fan base that's showing up. People are going to hope a lot from this new ownership group. And I don't expect them to go and spend $500 million on Tarek Skubal, but I do expect them to, open the checkbooks a little bit and maybe, spend some money this offseason, depending on how the offseason is with the lockout. And I want to keep this team being very competitive, right? The Dodgers are always going to be good. So you're going to probably have to, compete for wild card spots, maybe compete for the West if we can get a little better. But as an ownership, if you're going to spend $3 billion on this team, I'm expecting you're going to spend that and also spend money on players so that you can make a little money off your investment.
Matt, just to stay on that. So let's, yes, there's the go spend money to try to improve your roster. But what are some other areas? Like when you look at some franchises out there that they're not known for, they're going to go spend $250 or $300 million, but they still are very, very competitive. Are you hoping that there's, I guess you can call it, on top of, yes, go spend money, what else do you think they need to do that's important and critical and can be the difference of winning a series in the postseason or not, outside of just the financial part of things?
It's a great question. And I actually, I think as a San Diego Padres fan recently, you just think spend, right? But I think what you brought up was a great point. Looking at a team like the Milwaukee Brewers, who have been able to develop starting pitching, I think that's the big thing for me, is figuring out a way to get AJ and company to really invest in maybe not having to spend all of your prospect capital and maybe being able to go and, sign people so that you can actually develop talent. I think one thing that we've been sorely missing as a, fan base is, kind of that Jacob Mizorowski cat. Like obviously Jacob Mizorowski is a, one of one type pitcher or like a Paul Skeens, but having a pitcher come up through the minors, I think Kate Anderson just got called up by the Mariners. Having a guy like that, I feel like would be really cool. I also think just the analytics side of baseball is just consistently showing that it matters, right? I think there's a healthy mix. I think the Dodgers do a great job at it where, there is a mix where you have to go in. It's not all money ball. You have to spend some money, but I really hope that they just invest in everything that, we need, hitting analytics, pitching analytics, development. AJ's done a great job at international scouting, but with the new CBA and the possible international draft, it might be a little different. So we really have to be creative. And I just really hope that they're ready to, invest some money and hopefully, pays tenfold for them.
Matt Devine, DSG, Devine Sports Gospel with us right now, Schaeffer and Sliwa, San Diego Sports 760. Ethan Salas, a name we've heard since the day he joined the organization as a 16-year-old, is getting closer. Are you in a spot where you're clamoring for him to debut? Like, do you want or need to see it between now and the end of this season or not?
Honestly, no. I love Ethan Salas. I think he's going to be the catcher of the future, and it's been so awesome to watch him go from unranked on a lot of prospect rankings going into this season after the back injury, everybody being like, oh, he's another, classic overhyped prospect who never is going to pan out, to now being consistently ranked in the top 15, being that great of a defensive catcher already with an 830 OPS across both, AA and AAA. That's a really, really good sign. That being said, the fact that the lockout is probably going to happen, and if you're on the 40-man roster, you're not able to do any sort of team-related activities, is a big deal for me. I don't want to ruin this guy's development just to have him on the bench for, 2 weeks and a wild card, maybe an NLDS. So maybe be creative a little bit. I also don't think the drop-off right now is Freddie Fermin. If you look at the stats, it's not pretty. That being said, the concussion was a real thing. And when Freddie's kind of going, he's not bad. And Campy, I thought, has had a really awesome season. So I don't really think we need to bring Ethan Salas up as much as we might have felt like we needed to 2 months ago. So I think being smart with him, which they've been so far, would be great. Let him get his confidence up, hit a couple more homers in El Paso, and then we'll see you opening day 2027.
Matt Devine joining us here, Schaeffer and Sliwa show. Matt, as we kind of look at these last couple of days, and listen, I think most people would feel the same way. The series against the Mets just wasn't a good series. There's nothing more to talk about it. In between the two losses was one of the more unique individual performances that we've seen. And I loved how the Tatis, the conversation about him was making its rounds. Every single outlet you could think of was showing those raw videos of fans showing Tatis when he robs the grand slam. And just, it was a cool moment to see Tatis, because that's what we think of Tatis from back in the day. What's your confidence level that Tatis is, maybe we don't have to say his best days are in front of him, but some of the best ball that you've ever seen from Tatis you can still get in 2026, 2027. What's your level of confidence in that?
I'm confident, man. The swagger he has at the plate right now, that's the big thing. Because if you really have been watching, like you both have, and like I'm assuming all of your listeners have, if you've been watching Padres baseball for the last 4 years, I guess 2 years that he's been in the outfield, Tatis is an incredible, incredible athlete, and he's made great plays throughout, his career in the outfield. I think the biggest difference is the swagger he has at the plate right now. For example, beginning of the season, he went out there and everybody knew he wasn't hitting a home run. Yesterday, Austin Hayes grounds into that double play. Everybody's texting me like, all he had to do was strike out. Tatis was up next. He could have tied the game. That wasn't a thing at the beginning of the season. So I think he has that swagger. John, Kevin, and I joked about it on Padres Collective, but he hadn't tweeted in 4 years. He tweeted that Gladiator Russell Crowe gif saying, like, are you not entertained? That is the kind of guy who captivates the fan base. That's the reason why Fernando Tatis Jr. is a superstar. He was on the cover of the video game. Like, we haven't had a lot of those athletes in San Diego, at least in my lifetime. I'm 30 years old. I think of two off the top of my head: Fernando Tatis Jr. and LaDainian Tomlinson. Those are the two where I'm like, you go around and people are like, oh, you're from San Diego, LT, or oh, you're from San Diego, Tatis. My little cousins know about Tatis. They live in Philadelphia. Like, he is a big deal, and it's so awesome to watch him playing with that confidence right now.
Yeah, it really is. I mean, he's a special player that can help this team do special things potentially if he can keep playing like this in the short term here in 2026. Matt, always appreciate it, man. You're in SD this weekend, right? Are you going to some of these games?
Yes, sir. I'm flying down tonight, and I will be there tomorrow and Saturday for sure. So super excited to watch the boys. Hopefully take a series from the Twins, who just swept the Braves, which is a little concerning. But I feel like the boys have a good shot this weekend, and I can't wait to be down there.
Sneaky homestand. Minnesota in playoff positioning. Yep. Pittsburgh better than Pittsburgh typically is this time of year. Matt, appreciate it, man. Safe travels.
Thank you, man.
And enjoy the games this weekend at Petco.
Thank you both. Have a great one.
All right, Matt Devine, Devine Sports Gospel.
I need to pick your brain something on the Ethan Salas stuff. And then he had something that he said about what he'd like to see from new ownership outside of just spending money that I think is worth a conversation.
And we're going to have it then on the other side. Plus, the wrap is coming up at 4:30. And San Diego State's offensive coordinator, Matt Johnson, 16 days out from the Aztecs opener, will join us coming up at 5 p.m. on Schaeffer and Sliwa, San Diego Sports 760. We're live on the iHeartRadio app.
Our iHeartRadio Music Festival is back. Live performances by the Goo Goo Dolls, Kenny Chesney, Lainey Wilson, Snoop Dogg, Weezer, and more. September 18th and 19th at T-Mobile Arena in Las Vegas. 2 nights, 1 stage. While the world is listening on iHeartRadio, you could be there. 3 chances every weekday for you to win. Win your trip for 2 plus $1,000 in spending money. Next chance to text and win happens around 5 p.m. on San Diego Sports 760.
All right. So I need to turn my mic on.
No, try it.
Let me try it with it off.
Just try it off. Now keep talking. No, keep going. Just try it. Because, yeah, it's going to pick up a little bit from mine.
That's good. Okay, so you said there was something that Matt said that you wanted to discuss.
Ethan Salas.
And that was Ethan Salas.
Ethan Salas. Help me understand this with Ethan Salas.
Yeah.
What percentage of bringing Ethan Salas up is because he's a stud that could be a part of the team's future? I'm trying to figure out, is this more like marketing or is this more baseball?
I think it's more substance than style, so to speak. Like, I don't think it's a play, like a marketing play.
Okay.
I think it's based on production. Now, you may ask, well, hold on, you got a really good catcher, right? And Luis Campusano, he's hit by and large all year. I mean, you kind of would have room for both if one of them is DHing and one of them is catching. But is Ethan Salas honestly going to be thrust into the starting catching spot and calling games with this staff?
Okay, let me go back to my original question then.
Okay.
Here's what I don't want.
Yeah.
Want nothing cute to be happening here.
Right.
Oh, everybody knows Ethan Salas. Nobody wanted to trade Ethan Salas. He's playing good in AAA.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, my God. Sell some more tickets in September. I mean, this is going to look even better. If there's anything other than a baseball reason to bring him up, why would we bring him up? I just want it to be, he's coming up because we actually feel like he could help the squad. It's good for his development. We want him in this process of key games in September, even if he's not actually playing, but he's just there around the guys. If any of this has to do with anything other than that, I think I'm frustrating myself thinking.
I don't think it does.
Okay.
I'm just going to be honest with you. Like, the guy in 15 games in AAA has a 1,076 OPS.
That's
El Paso. It's AAA.
15 games.
True, but in AA this year, hit 286, was productive. He's very young. I mean, here's my guess. He just turned 20. Here's my guess. Rosters expand September 1st. He's one of the two. You get one position player, one pitcher. My guess is he's their position player. Why? A, to at least some extent, it's been earned. Secondarily, you want a third catcher. It gives you flexibility with DH and catching and injury. So he provides that. So I think he'll have that chance. Now, do I think he's going to be playing every day in September? I do not. Do I think he's going to be a difference maker or the difference maker? I do not. But sometimes you give that player like their cup of coffee and they're better off for it down the road as well.
If you're making
that's
that
my
case,
guess.
If you're making that case, it's all good. I can't, typically when guys like Ethan Salas get brought up, they're usually getting brought up because your team's not good. You got nothing to play for. You traded at the trade deadline. You sold at the trade deadline. And it's like you're just trying to give your fan base something to be excited about. It's like a new item on the menu. And it's like, the McRib is back. Making something up, right?
Right.
Like there's just this, we just need some kind of attention towards that. Padres are in the middle of trying to make a playoff push. I think they're in a great position over these final 34 games to do so. I just don't want to lose our focus of what it is. And if you're making all baseball reasons of why, then I'm cool with it. Other than any baseball reasons, I'm not okay with the idea and the concept.
No, I like what you're saying because like the only example
15 games in AAA and you're like,
nothing.
Hey, go.
But like the only example of a catcher, quote unquote, hitting, producing at his age, the only one in modern baseball history, someone correct me if I'm wrong, is arguably the best catcher ever. It's Pudge Rodriguez.
Mm-hmm.
But his first 2 years in the big leagues, Alan, as a 20-year-old, he didn't hit. Now, by the time he was 22, he had an 848 OPS. It was his 4th year in the big leagues. He went on to be one of the most productive offensive catchers ever.
Mm-hmm.
And by the way, he didn't hit 20 home runs in the big leagues until he was 25. Catchers are slow to develop. He's 20. He could be the best version of himself at 27. Luis Campusano is a perfect example. He was given opportunities time and time again. It took him 6 years to hit. So if anyone's expecting Ethan Salas to all of a sudden set the world on fire, I hope it happens. But I'm just telling you, baseball history suggests it doesn't often happen with young catchers. There's a lot on their plate.
Again, it's like if there's a benefit to him being up for this long-term vision of Ethan Salas, all good. But I just want to make sure that we all got our eye on what the prize is, which is grabbing that final wild card spot and trying to position yourself for some type of a playoff run. That's the focus, and the focus should be on nothing else. If we were having a conversation about Joe Musgrove, I respect Musgrove like nobody's business, as all San Diegans do. We know how hard he's worked to put himself in a position to come back. Do you think if we got to September 15th and Joe Musgrove has a 7 or 8 ERA, Joe Musgrove will probably be the one that's like, I'm not helping your team. Like at the end of the day, the attention, all the attention should be on, forget the player, forget the name, forget all that. How do you help the San Diego Padres get into that final wild card spot? I just don't want any distractions.
Well, at the end of the day, it's like you got a proven veteran coming off an IL, maybe like Miguel Andujar, who's 31 years of age, who has spent the better part of the last, decade in the major leagues. Or you have Ethan Salas.
Let me give you another player.
Samad Taylor.
Samad Taylor was phenomenal for the Padres when he was
also, the difference is what role are these players filling?
I completely understand
and it might be more valuable.
And there might be too much duplication with some of these other guys. I get that. But I'm saying that, like, I saw Samad Taylor come up for the Padres and actually rejuvenate this team for the short amount of time that he was there. And Andujar had definitely some moments. These are guys that have already done it here, again, as we're trying to get in this playoff push. So as long as you're not telling me that the reason is anything other than to do with baseball, then I could be sold on it. But to me, there's a little bit too much conversation about Ethan Salas for this season. Isn't the conversation about Ethan Salas supposed to be for the future?
Could be for both. We'll see in the days ahead. I mean, he even could be promoted before September 1st. That would surprise me. And maybe I'd be surprised if he's promoted after September 1st as well. Let's get to the wrap on the other side. Plus, you've got a chance to win a 4-pack of tickets to see My Chemical Romance coming up. That's August 30th at Petco Park. Be listening for your chance to win those tickets. And Matt Johnson, San Diego State's offensive coordinators, the Aztecs get set for their Week 1 game in 16 days. They'll join us at 5 p.m. on Schaeffer and Sliwa, San Diego Sports 760, live on the iHeartRadio app.
Here's what's trending from the iHeart Sports Network, presented by iHeartAdvertising.com. The Padres have off today. They'll start a weekend series tomorrow night down at Petco against the Twins. NBA news, James Harden and the Cavs have agreed on a new 3-year deal worth $97 million with a player option for the 28-29 season. Harden's career earnings now will reach $511 million, making him only the 4th player in league history to eclipse the $500 million mark. One NFL note, both the Cowboys and the Saints were fined $500K today for all the fights that they got into at Tuesday's joint practice. Run a business and not thinking about radio? Think again, because people are listening to radio more today than they did 20 years ago. And only iHeartRadio connects with more Americans than TV, digital, even social. Learn how radio can help your business. Call 844-844-iHeart.
All right, Schaeffer and Sliwa, Matt Johnson is going to join us at 5 p.m. He's San Diego State's offensive coordinator, working with Sean Lewis, and he will join us at 5 p.m. We are 16 days out, Alan. San Diego State, Portland State, Snapdragon Stadium, September 5th. Will you be there? I'm putting you on the
Portland
spot.
State. What did you say? There's a couple things going on that day.
Padres, Yankees.
Yep. I don't know yet.
You could do the double dip. How? I'd have to see the start times.
Saturday night's going to be like a 6:40 first pitch.
Are you sure?
It's got to be.
It's never at 6:40. Sometimes at 5:40. Look at the Padres schedule. Brentford
4:15.
4:15, Alan.
Oh, they're doing a little Fox.
You could do the both because the Aztecs play 6:35. You honestly
you
could do the hang out till 6 something.
Yeah.
Get over to
No, I could do
Snapdragon.
all of the Padres game and still have plenty of
time. You
for
have
a college
full
football
second
game.
half or whatever. That would actually be really cool to do.
Yeah,
I'm
it's not
being
bad.
serious. To go to the Padres Yankees and then see San Diego State's opener.
Would they ever do that? I don't think they would.
What?
This like combo package.
Maybe if the timing was perfect. Like
Mhm.
if the Aztecs had them making up a 7:30 game and the Padres were playing the Twins at 1:10. Then you have both.
Yeah.
I don't know though.
Yeah, you're right. It's got to be something like that. But that's very, I would imagine that's not common at all.
It isn't. I will say this, dude. The through lines between San Diego State and the Padres are significant. Of course, none being bigger than Tony Gwynn.
Sure.
The first ever game at Petco Park they showed on Sunday Night Baseball the other night was a Houston San Diego State college baseball game to open the stadium as like that test run for the Padres back in 2004. But there's a lot of, there's a lot of examples of San Diego State, running through the Padres. All right. Matt Johnson at 5 p.m., the Aztecs offensive coordinator. Right now, let's get to this.
It's time for the wrap. Presented by Sombrero Mexican Food. Check out their website at sombreromex.com.
Will San Diego FC make the playoffs?
Very frustrating soccer team right now to watch. I think you helped me out a little bit by saying,
Like, relax.
they got 4 of their next 5 in San Diego.
Snapchat.
And how much will that be able to benefit? I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna give you a cop-out answer. I'm not gonna answer yet whether they're gonna make it or not because they have not shown enough up to this point to where you're like, oh yeah, of course they're gonna grab one of those 9 spots. But I think what you said a little bit earlier about these next 5 games will probably determine whether they're making it or not based off on how they do at home at Snapdragon. I think that's a fair assessment. I think it's almost as if, you're halfway through the Major League Baseball season and you're hovering around 500. You're like, are they going to make the playoffs?
Padres.
Right. And that's kind of was them. And then you had the deadline that was going to come in, but we're a little bit past the halfway point. I'm going to hold off. I really am. I'm going to hold off. I'm going to do this 4 out of 5 thing that you're talking about.
Okay, Alan, here's the deal. They've played 20 matches. Now they have 34 in their season. So there's still a healthy portion, but you're right. It's in the second half. But
It's in the second half.
Not like there's 6, there's
And
14.
they're 13th.
Sure, but they're 3 points out of 9.
I know, but I feel like we've been saying that
we've said
for
that a lot.
a
You're
month.
right. I think they'll make it based on what they do these next 5 matches. I think they'll win 3 of these matches, with 4 of them being at home. I think if they can win 3 of their next 5 matches and get a point elsewhere,
That's
as in
10 points right there?
out of 15 possible, I think they'll position themselves well, and there'll still be plenty of time after that. So There is time, but I'm with you. It has to be done now. You can't go, 1-3-1 over your next 5 matches. You got to play much better than that moving forward. Next question.
Is it more important for Merrill or Manny to get going?
Good question.
I still got a piece of me that's like, Manny's been in the league for so long and has kind of seen this. He's seen everything in Major League Baseball you could possibly see. Where Jackson Merrill is still, he's still super young. It's not like Jackson Merrill's been in the league for 10 years.
Yeah.
So I think it's more important for Jackson Merrill to have the confidence. It's more important for Jackson Merrill to have the production. It's more important for Jackson Merrill to be the one that gets back on track. I'd say Merrill over Machado because I still think Machado is going to have moments where it's like, I'm Manny effing Machado. Like, I still think there's a little bit of that where Jackson Merrill, I get it if the man is questioning himself. I get it if he doesn't have that long-term experience. So I say it's more important for Merrill.
Man, I'm kind of going back and forth on it. But man, I have loved watching Merrill at his best in the second half. I love the upside right now in Jackson Merrill. As the 23-year-old, I'd love to see him get hot again here to close. I'll go with Merrill as well. I love watching Merrill at his best. Same thing with Manny. But Manny's just the guy like at his best. He's never hitting 40 home runs in the season. He's always like he just compiles and kind of gets there some way or other. I'm with you. I'm going to go with Merrill, the youngster, over Manny right now at this time with the Padres. Next question.
Do you think players that have signed professional contracts should be allowed to return to college?
Did we skip a question?
Yes.
All right, let's go to this one currently. Should players that have signed professional contracts be allowed to return to college?
No, I think that's it. I think once you sign a professional contract, I think that should be it. I think that should be. We got to have some rules here. And listen, maybe there's some gray areas, and just give me concrete rules. I think right now the biggest problem in college is there is no rules, there is no trust. Everybody's kind of working off of what's happening in college with some of these like foreign players in basketball, all these international players, and then it's just like, no, we're not accepting international players anymore.
That's a whole nother thing.
That's what I'm saying is like
it's crazy.
Nobody knows what the hell the rules are to begin with. There is no full body of just understanding of what you can do and what you can't do. Here's what I know. If I don't have my seatbelt on when I'm driving, it's a ticket. I don't need to have 7 different versions. Well, it
was daytime. He wasn't. Yeah, he was in Nevada.
It's 4 to 6.
Yeah.
4 to 6 p.m. You don't have to have seatbelts on. So I just need rules. Give me rules.
Dude, listen to how crazy this is. The SEC Commissioner Greg Sankey, in an affidavit in Louisiana, is arguing against LSU adding a men's basketball player. Like think about what I just said. Greg Sankey is the commissioner of the SEC. He's in an affidavit arguing that LSU should not be able to allow a player that has already signed professionally. That's where we are in this saga. It's completely out of hand. Now you have players right now in training camps that are trying to get out of contracts. Former college football players that are on, like they weren't drafted, but they're in training camps. But now there's a 5th year that's been granted. They want to go back to college, and they're trying to get out of their pro deals to go back to college because the money's way better.
Because the college program is ready to offer them
more money. So I'm with you. They need rules. Once you sign a professional deal,
what do we
you
do
should
here?
not be eligible for college.
When are we going to see in the next 5-10 years where there's just clean rules, or is college just going to always be this messy?
Not clean rules. They'll be cleaner, but not clean. I don't think. Will legislation really solve everything? Unlikely is my guess.
Yeah.
So I think it solves some things. Next question.
Should Major League Baseball do replays for foul balls?
All right, so we've had a couple of things happen here over the last few weeks where I think the latest was a foul ball or a home run that ended up being called foul, and they can't review it, right?
Yeah.
We had a play, I think, with the Padres. They had a key play with the Padres. This was maybe within the last week or two, where it looked like it was a fair ball, and they called it foul. It was down the left field line. Why wouldn't that be part of replays? Like, what? Somebody help me understand. That's the easiest one. That is just as easy as an ABS challenge that's a ball or a strike. Like, we see how clean that is and how quick that is. What is stopping us from saying that was fair or that was foul? What is the argument against reviewing that?
I honestly don't understand it. Like you've said before with like tennis, now that we're doing the ABS, like we're getting down to millimeters.
Tennis is the perfect example because literally
the ball hits something.
It hits something or it doesn't. And the crowd starts clapping like it almost has become a part of it.
ABS is way harder than fair foul because ABS differs based on the size of the batter.
Yes.
And there's not a real box anywhere.
Sure.
You know, like at least with fair foul, there's chalk or a base.
Adam Silver has said something that, the NBA is the worst at all this, but he said that they are going to be using technology similar to tennis where the stuff is like that was in, that was out. I know there's certain things you can't use it for,
right?
But for things like this, that's what replay should be.
Is the NFL doing more of it with the ball and first downs? Because it's amazing. The NFL, this multi-billion-dollar sport, the biggest in America.
Yeah.
Some random dude like rolls out with a chain.
Yeah, Tim comes out. Tim comes out.
And they place the ball. The official runs and puts the ball down.
Yeah, Tim has a chain. Yeah. Tim's like, I saw his knee went down within this area.
Right. It's crazy.
Well, the NFL's evolution is now they're kind of preemptively looking at stuff. If they know that it looks like a coach is going to throw the red flag and challenge it, they'll look at it in New York right away. So then
make that decision.
Yeah, so it's done. So we don't have to wait 5 minutes for the thing to get down.
Yeah.
But in terms of baseball, I think they'll add it within the next 2 years.
I agree with you.
Because we're already most likely going to get reviews for check swings next year because they're testing that down in the minors. So I won't be surprised if they start, doing their testing of it in the minors next year.
Here's the beauty with baseball. And ABS has kind of opened up. Here's what ABS did. It opened up the door to now allow for like, okay, well, what's the next step? How does this progress? But here's the beauty with what baseball has. It's quick.
Mm-hmm.
You're not wasting time.
Right.
You're not screwing my viewing experience.
Right.
Like I in a weird way, I kind of like it. I kind of like when the Padres, other than Manny Machado, challenges.
Other than Manny Machado. And by the way, he tried to challenge yesterday.
They're out of challenges. And by the way,
it was right down the middle.
Ball,
Dude, it was in by 7 inches.
Machado's got to...
He's got to chill.
Help me. No, it's not he's got to chill. He's got to remove his freaking ego from these decisions.
Bud, you struck out and you have no challenges. And it was a strike.
But this whole thing, like, I know this is kind of a side conversation. Craig Stammen can't pull Machado to the side and be like, you're hurting us.
Dude, I'm just, by the way.
You cannot challenge in the second or in the first or the third inning. You can't challenge. And we're out of challenges because you're like, well, I'm Machado and I could challenge. It's dumb.
E-break for a moment.
Yeah.
And we'll get to Matt Johnson, San Diego State's offensive coordinator. Did you see how the Cardinals scored those 6 runs in the 9th inning today?
No.
The Reds dropped the ball in the outfield, up 5-4. Center fielder dropped the ball. Just ranging over.
What's worse, that or Machado challenging a ball right down the middle?
This right here, this drop fly ball in a Cardinals come from behind win. All right, we have updated power rankings in MLB we can share. We have updated prospect rankings.
Prospect ranking is
well,
the
power and prospect.
Yeah.
Plus, Matt Johnson, San Diego State's offensive coordinator, will join us at 5 p.m. Schaeffer and Sliwa, San Diego Sports 760, live on the iHeartRadio app. All right, Schaeffer and Sliwa, we do have tickets, Alan, to give away to see My Chemical Romance. If you want to see My Chemical Romance coming up later this month, let us know your name and why you want to see them. August 30th at Petco Park. All right, 4-pack of tickets. And do it on the Talkback mic. Open up the iHeartRadio app, search for San Diego Sports 760, click the Talkback mic. Tell us your name and why you want to see My Chemical Romance. By doing that, you're entered to win. Well, that's a winner between now and 6 p.m. Matt Johnson is San Diego State's offensive coordinator. Will join us at 5. So we have updated power rankings, Alan. We have updated prospect rankings as well.
Mm-hmm.
It's Choose Your Own Adventure, Alan Sliwa edition.
All right. So the one that interests me more.
Right. Yeah.
Definitely the updated top 100 MLB prospect rankings.
Give me all 100.
I'm going to start at 87.
Okay.
Yeah, because 87 is where I think it really starts getting interesting.
I haven't seen these. So can you quiz me? I'm being serious. Like, give me a question that I'm like, how many Padres or where is Salas or
okay?
Like, what are you going to ask?
How about this?
Okay.
Where do you think Ethan Salas is in the top 10?
I'll say yes.
Okay.
I'll say yes, and I'll say he's 10th.
Okay. He's 13th.
Okay, so I was wrong.
All right.
Okay.
All right. We'll get another one in here. We'll get another one here.
Yeah. How many Padres prospects are in the top 100 is my question.
Well, let me slow down here for a second.
Okay.
Okay. Where do you think Leo DeVries is?
Right. The former top prospect. I would say he's higher.
Is it dumb for me to always be curious where some of these guys are? Because
do people do people stalk their ex-girlfriend on Instagram? So no, it's not dumb.
That's the comp?
Correct.
Okay. Continue.
I would say DeVries is top 4.
He's number 4 on that list.
How about that? Maybe he's top 4.
As far as, so you said how many are in the top 100?
And I don't know the answer, but I'm going to answer it, and then you're going to tell me if you know. Do you know?
I'm looking right now. Let's just say this. I'm at 60, and there is not another San Diego Padre. Okay.
Oh, right. They traded away their top pitching prospect recently. I'm going to guess there's another one in the top 100.
I'm at 80, and we have not hit a San Diego Padre.
One in the top 80.
You could double check this, but that's what I'm showing here.
Do Control F.
They have one in the top 100.
One?
Ethan Salas. By the way, that's not shocking here.
Here's my guess. I said they have one.
Ethan Salas is the
kind of surprising. The reason I say it is, dude, 100 players for 30 teams. You'd think you'd stumble into a second.
Can I tell you something that is a little wild?
Sure.
I see a lot of freaking Dodgers on here.
And they just traded for Tarek Skubal.
A lot.
Like 6+?
All right, so there's 1, 2.
Why don't they list the teams?
3, 4.
You know?
They got 5 in the top 35.
And they've traded for Skubal.
And they traded for Skubal.
Out of their system.
Maybe they forgot about the Padres, but there's one in the top 100. Look, this kind of stuff scares me. It really does. Like, this is the kind of stuff that, by the way, that's the notes that we had. Matt Devine, who was on a little bit earlier, we're having that conversation. I put in our rundown. There are 2 things I took out of that conversation. One was on the Ethan Salas stuff that we talked about. And the other one was when I asked him about, hey, what is outside of just go spend money? Because I think there's a little bit of this. I think people think there's a connection here. Spend money equals success. I think what we're failing to understand and realize, that farm system does have a lot of value in the game of baseball.
It's massive.
And if all you do is use your farm system and your top prospects to just trade for current players, by the way, not just current players, a lot of guys, they expire, their contract expires. I mean, we obviously have that with Robbie Ray and with Casey Mize. That leaves you with one top 100 prospect in this, obviously in this. I don't think that's a winning recipe. Like, I do think there needs to be a balance of yeah, of course, we use some of our prospects to try to win right now, but we also really, really value our prospects as part of our overall process of success.
Yes, but then there's LA, which they do it all. I mean, they trade from their system and still have top prospects, and they go out and buy obviously via free agency.
Yeah, but their owner is
it's different.
No. What I was going to say is their owner also didn't pay off. Apparently, was hiding everything in whatever Ponzi scheme potentially that they're running. That's true.
That's a whole nother story. But here's the thing, like the truth is for the Padres have a better shot of long-term viability going the Tampa route than they do the LA route. You see what I'm saying? As in they've tried the LA route. They've gotten cute. They had Peter Seidler. They did spend money and they did have success. But to do it for the next 10 years, go get Milwaukee's farm system. Go get Tampa's farm system. Like build from within, supplement with resources, and you can put together a winning team.
But we were having that conversation. And what were you saying at the trade deadline?
Trade everyone. But they didn't have anyone to trade.
Well, apparently they had a couple left.
Well, let me ask you this. Do you want Cash Mayfield and whoever else they traded, or do you want Robbie Ray and Casey Mize? I want Robbie Ray and Casey Mize.
I want Robbie Ray and Casey Mize, but I'm telling you, this ain't sustainable. Like, I think there's this idea and this concept of if you want sustained success.
Right.
Their biggest issue is they threw out bad contracts. And it's because of the bad contracts and like the less ability of flexibility that they're using their entire farm system to keep competing.
Right.
That's the problem. The problem is the money that they've given out has not been, would you agree, has not exactly been the smartest money that they've dished out.
I would agree.
Well, that's probably the main reason why they keep using from the farm system. Because they're trying to still compete today.
It's one of these, how many licks does it take to get to the Tootsie Roll center of a Tootsie
One of
Pop?
the top 100.
But the sustained part of it is we don't know. You might be right. As in the wheels may fall off, or
Listen,
they might not.
But that's not like, I'm not trying to. Here I am excited about what the Padres got left. And it was because they used their farm system to continue to be competitive. So I'm not saying that they don't do it. What I'm saying is you got to have some balance here. There has to eventually they got to get to a point where it's like, yeah, they're also top 10 in their farm system, but they're still out there spending as well. Just a combination of the two. And right now it's like,
ask Jose Feliciano
like
on Monday. I don't know what you're going to ask him, but you can ask him.
I'll ask him, why do you have one top
100 prospect? Since you've been here for 12 minutes, you have just one top 100 prospect.
How would you like to react to that?
How would you like to react to that? All right, Matt Johnson.
What's your name? I'm going to say John Schaeffer. Part of the Aztec broadcast.
That's hilarious. All right, Matt Johnson. Speaking of the Aztecs, they are 16 days away from their opener against Portland State. Matt Johnson is their offensive coordinator, working with Sean Lewis, played for Sean Lewis as well. He'll join us on the other side. We'll preview San Diego State's opener and how fall camp has gone to this point with Matt Johnson. Will join us next on Schaeffer and Sliwa, San Diego Sports 760, live on the iHeartRadio app.
Here's what's trending from the iHeart Sports Network, presented by iHeartAdvertising.com. Padres have off today. They'll start a weekend series tomorrow down at Petco Park against Minnesota. NBA news, James Harden and the Cavs have agreed on a new 3-year deal worth $97 million with a player option for the 28-29 season. Harden's career earnings now will reach $511 million, making him only the 4th player in league history to eclipse the $500 million mark. One NFL note, both the Cowboys and the Saints were fined $500K for all the fights that they got into this week at Tuesday's joint practice. Run a business and not thinking about radio? Think again, because people are listening to radio more today than they did 20 years ago. And only iHeartRadio connects with more Americans than TV, digital, even social. Learn how radio can help your business. Call 844-844-iHeart.
All right, hour 3. Schaeffer and Sliwa, San Diego Sports 760, of course, home of the Aztecs. We are just over 2 weeks out. San Diego State, Portland State at Snapdragon Stadium. Single game tickets and season tickets available right now for the Aztecs at goaztecs.com. We have Matt Johnson, the Aztecs offensive coordinator, back with us here on the home of the Aztecs, San Diego Sports 760. Matt, appreciate you taking time for us. You're kind of midway through camp right now. You've got all these returnees. You're adding in new pieces as well. How would you assess these first couple of weeks of camp? And thanks for hopping on.
Yeah, I appreciate the offer to come on. It's always great to talk to you about the Aztecs.
Yeah,
like you said, about halfway through this camp, I'm really pleased with the leadership on our side of the ball. I think that Jaden Denigal has done a great job, and so has Lucky Sutton, Big Joe up front, and then Jordan Napier and Donovan Brown on the edge have really done a great job of becoming leaders for the offensive side of the ball. More production than we've ever had coming back, which is also very exciting. And it's just been really good to get those guys out there competing with really good depth pieces at all positions that we feel really good about.
There's a lot of positive chatter about the potential offense of San Diego State University this upcoming season. I'm just curious, from your perspective, how do you look at that? Do you look at that as that challenge where people are going to expect? I mean, we've joked around, they score 30 plus a game. I know that's a little aggressive there, but what do you make of the chatter that comes and the expectations that comes with this offense this upcoming season?
Yeah, I mean, I always think about it, and Coach Lewis has said this a lot, and I think it pertains to us now that pressure is a privilege. So if that's what it takes, that's what it takes. But I've also stressed to the offense, to Jaden, that it's going to be a full team effort, just like it was last year. I mean, hell, last year we won a game 6-3. You know what I mean? And then 2 weeks after that, we're putting up 40 points, right? So, to me, yes, we do have a lot of potential, but potential has never won us a football game. So it's still going to come down to execution on Saturdays, but I'm very pleased with how the guys have come together during this time during camp, where it's this perfect football bubble where those guys just get to be around each other and make those connections even stronger, both on and off the field.
Matt Johnson with us right now. He's San Diego State's offensive coordinator. Again, the Aztecs open against Portland State 2 weeks from Saturday. Tickets are available at goaztecs.com. One of your players a lot of Aztec fans are curious about is one that transitions from quarterback to receiver. I'm talking about Bert Emanuel Jr. Of course, his father did something similar in the NFL. Terrific wide receiver for the better part of a decade. How's it gone for Bert so far in camp, making that transition from QB to receiver?
Yeah, I mean, I think he's done a great job of attacking the work. Obviously, it's going to be or it was during the spring, a transition period from, last year he's taken 3-step drops, and this year now he's, learning the difference between a hard cut and a speed cut and, perimeter blocking. So there's a transition point, there's a transition period, but I feel like, one thing I'll never say is BJ's work ethic can never be questioned. I mean, he's attacked this the right way. He's gone about it with a workman's mentality, which has been really exciting and something that we expected him to do. He's had some really good days during camp. He's had some really great learning moments that he's feeling pictures for the first time, which he'll be able to, put in his tool belt for the season. But yeah, I mean, I love the kid to death. The way that he works, it's second to none. You know what I mean? But he's attacked this the right way, which he's allowed himself to, put himself in a position to really be a key contributor for us.
Matt Johnson, SDSU's offensive coordinator, joining us here on the Schaeffer and Sliwa show. Matt, I'm curious to get your thoughts here. Expectations. We've had Jaden Denigal come on the show and love having the conversation with him. He's excited about this upcoming season. What are you expecting? What are proper expectations for your quarterback, and just what type of season are you expecting from him?
Yeah, I mean, I'm really looking forward to having a year 2 quarterback. I mean, it's a I don't want to say a rarity, but it's always very nice in our world of college football now when you're able to get the same signal caller 2 years in a row, which, for me personally, it's been 4 years since I've been able to do that. But, for me personally, expectations for Jaden is he needs to play like a second-year quarterback in our system. Last year was his first real year playing football, right? He dealt with the shoulder injuries all throughout the season. He showed his toughness and, his willing to sacrifice for the team. But there's a growth that happens from year 1 to year 2 in our system. I feel like he's done a phenomenal job of attacking the game with his mind during this camp, really growing, to understand the why behind things. Like, we're not just out there, running football plays. Like Coach Lewis says it all the time that, we're not just playing battleship football where we hope be 4 hits. Like, we're playing chess. And in order to do that, we need to know what the signal caller is doing back there. And he's done a great job of attacking the work so that he is the constant in a game that's full of variables. He's the one that can stay constant for 60 minutes.
Matt, what kind of advantage is that, just having him, like you just said? It's unique. And in today's college landscape, you're right. Guys are moving all the time. How unique is it to say, all right, I get to have this guy for a second year. He's a familiar face. He's listening to familiar coaches. Like, how critical is that? And how much do you think that becomes a benefit?
I mean, it's enormous. Like, and the one thing I'll say about Jaden is his football IQ is very high. So, there's been pictures that have come up, during camp that, we're able to talk about, like, hey, remember last year against so-and-so when that happened? And, oh yeah, I remember that. Hey, that's how we're going to handle this problem. Oh, okay, cool. Like, boom, done. There's very rarely moments where you're having day 1 problems when you have a second-year quarterback. And then, not only with him, but just he has so many familiar pieces around him that I think that gives him a level of comfort, whether it's in the throw game with the receivers that he has coming back, knowing that, hey, if we're behind the sticks, we can always hand the ball to 7. Like, that's always a great thing for a quarterback. And then up front, right, like having Joe and Kalen back, like there's a level of comfort with him, with the connections that he has on the offense, that he's not out there with year 1 guys. Like, we're able to retain these guys and build these connections that are both on and off the field, so that when they step between the white lines, they know exactly what they're doing.
I've always thought there's been like this misperception with, Sean's offense. Of course, you played in it as well, but like this belief that it's, an entirely like throwing based offense, where of course, Coach Lewis and yourself, you've had some of those really balanced offenses throughout the course of your years together. And you've got this unbelievable running back room, obviously highlighted by Lucky Sutton, who you touched on before, but there's others back there that are going to make a huge impact this year as well. And of course, San Diego State is known for its running game history as well. What can you say about the tailbacks led by Lucky Sutton heading into 2026?
Yeah, I mean, there's make no mistake about it, there's a legacy to uphold here when you're talking about the running back room. And I think Coach Hagan does a great job of truly developing those guys. I mean, there's probably not a lot of people that remember when we first got here that, Lucky was fighting to be our number 3 running back on the depth chart. Right. But Coach Hagan just kept developing, and Lucky attacked that work. And, second year he goes off and everybody's, praising, rightfully so. But there was a lot of work that went into that. And, I think that's really, really cool for those other guys to see, that he was able to lay a foundation down where things didn't click right away. But, obviously led by Coach Heggs, like, we understand what works. And if the guys attack that the right way, like, there can be production on the field. Like you said, like, we love to be able to run the ball and enforce our will. So, obviously Lucky is the one that everybody's going to know about, but the running back room has been really, really, the running back room has really produced some big plays for us during this camp. So we're excited about all of them, whether it's Lucky or all the way down to our true freshman running back, Josiah. Like, there's been moments where all those guys have flashed all throughout camp.
Matt, a little bit more of a broad question here, but I'm just curious to get your thoughts. How critical is this first season in the Pac-12 and what you think it can establish for a long-term perspective? And maybe it's not. Maybe every year is just completely separated, but just from your perspective for the football program, walking into the Pac-12, what do you think it would mean and represent to San Diego State football if you can get into that Pac-12 championship in its inaugural year?
No, I mean, that would be huge, not only for us as a football team, for the university, for the program. Like, there was a reason why this conference was, given, a rebirth, and, teams wanted to come and join, and, we're excited to, play Texas State and, be able to play Washington State and Oregon State every year. Like, this conference is going to be able to uphold against, some of the others as well. So, I mean, it's a challenge that we are, not taking lightly, not taking for granted. Like, it's not just like, oh, okay, it is what it is. It's just a conference game. Like, no, like, there was a lot that was done to make this happen. And there's going to be a lot said for the, whoever's at the end of the season that's able to call themselves the Pac-12 champions. Like, they're going to go down as the first ones of the rebirth. So, I mean, it's a big deal.
Matt, final one for me is just about, the success last year at Snapdragon Stadium, what the crowd can do and how it can impact the football team. Again, perfect at home last year. I think back to that Cal game, the shutout over a P4 opponent. What do you hope from your football team, not just for the season, but playing at home and having that crowd rallying around this football team?
Yeah, I mean, Snapdragon is a very special place. I mean, obviously we practice on campus and we play our games over there on game day. So, when we get a chance to go over there, I mean, it's sacred ground. And, going undefeated at home is something we took a lot of pride in, whether it was right from jump or teams having to experience the danger zone with us in the fourth quarter. I mean, like you said, the Cal game, the atmosphere was electric. So we're hoping that, we get a full packed house every Saturday because the boys put in a ton of work. It's always a little extra juice when the crowd is behind them. And, to be able to say that we went undefeated at home, I know, the staff, Coach Lewis and the players all took a lot of pride in that, to be able to say that we defended our house throughout the entire season, which is really, really hard to do. Not, there's only a handful of teams that do that every year, and we were one of them. So, yeah, I mean, it's a piece of our DNA to be able to go over there and really, truly protect our house.
Hopefully our listeners will make it out this upcoming season, including September 5th, the opener for the Aztecs against Portland State at 6:30, a perfect start time. Tickets are available right now at goaztecs.com. Another look at this San Diego State offense with so many returnees in 2026. Matt, appreciate you taking time for us during camp, and we'll see you out there this fall and coming up in September.
Awesome. I appreciate you guys. Thanks for having me.
Thank you, man.
All right, good stuff. Matt Johnson. It was a terrific college quarterback at Bowling Green. He played under Sean Lewis, who was the coordinator there. He's been at Kent State. He's been with Sean. They've had some elite offenses over the years.
They got a lot of experience there, too.
Yeah.
We got a lot of people coming from different programs that obviously all with the same intention of helping this program. I think it's great. Looking forward to it.
All right. On the other side, Alan, I want to announce a winner of tickets to see My Chemical Romance. You can still enter to win those tickets. It's a 4-pack of tickets. Open the iHeartRadio app, search for San Diego Sports 760, click the red talkback mic. We'll give away those tickets coming up. Also, the latest in the NBA, a huge deal today in the NBA. We'll talk about it on the other side.
Guy
We're here
just
until
keeps
6
getting
p.m.
paid.
It keeps getting
How does he
paid.
keep getting paid?
One of the highest paid NBA players in the history of the league. And we'll tell you who that is on the other side here on Schaeffer and Sliwa.
All right, SDFC is back at home, Snapdragon Stadium this Saturday when they take on Colorado. Our coverage with Adrian Darren begins at 7 p.m. on your home for SDFC, San Diego Sports 760.
All right, if you want tickets to see My Chemical Romance, let us know your name and why you want to see the show. You can hit us up on the Talkback mic. Open the iHeartRadio app, search for 760, click the red Talkback mic, and tell us why you want to see the show. We have a free 4-pack of tickets. Oh, free 4-pack of tickets to see My Chemical Romance. All you got to do is say you want them on the Talkback mic right now.
We'll hook you up
in the iHeartRadio app.
Talkback mic.
James Harden gets the old 3-year, $97 million deal, right? After this trade yesterday that we talked about.
Okay.
So listen to this. Here are the players that have earned $500 million in their careers in the NBA. James Harden is one of 4, along with LeBron, KD, and Steph. That's it. Harden
Who's his agent?
Is 4th.
Do we know
on
James
that
Harden
list.
agent?
That's crazy, isn't it? Who is his agent? I wish I was his agent. Take 3% of that.
Is represented by Equity Sports, Mike Silverman, Troy Payne, and Brandon Greer. So not because there's a couple big, and I'm not telling you they're not big,
but not
big
Clutch,
now
not Rock Nation.
So
right?
do we know? Did you say how much? Did you say in total?
3 years, 97 million, 5'11".
5'11" is what he's made over his career,
and he's not even 37. He's about to turn 37.
I don't think I could be mad at James Harden anymore. I don't think I could be mad. I think I got to just respect it. The guy,
511.
The guy. If you told me I'm starting a franchise, okay, do you know how far down the list I would have James Harden? And this man still found a way to make 5'11". You just mentioned Kevin Durant, Steph Curry,
LeBron,
and LeBron James, and James Harden is in that conversation with those threes, not with accolades, not with finals MVPs, not with, top 10 all time, any of that stuff.
Who's 5th all time?
He's only on there with their bank account.
Who's 5th all time?
5th all time earnings?
Yeah, it would be, I would say, in a little bit of a similar mold. This is a current player, similar
mold.
Age,
okay.
has been an
Russ.
absolute
it's not
star.
Russ.
It's not Russell Westbrook.
Okay.
He's been a star.
Mm-hmm.
Has been a face of teams before.
So we got to go back to their eras. So I'm trying to think of, and he's still playing?
He's still playing.
But he's got to be like towards the end of his career?
Yeah, he's mid-30s.
What do you think it is, Brent?
5th all time.
5th all time in career earnings. Is it a big man?
Forward.
Who the hell is it?
Is he a small forward?
PG. Yeah.
Oh my God.
Paul George is 5th. Listen to this.
Okay, can I tell you something?
List.
Can I just tell you something?
Yeah.
If we did this exercise and you said, give me the top 5 most
paid players ever.
Most 5 paid.
Yeah.
And you said 2 are playing right now.
Yeah.
I could have sat here for an hour and I would not have picked Paul George.
That's fair. That's fair. But I mean,
no, my point is that again, like that's,
I know,
from a production, if you're looking at production, PG is on that list.
I'll give you more that, like, are you still in the league? Anthony Davis, 9th.
AD makes sense that he's on there, but AD is, obviously.
Jimmy Butler's had a great career. He's 8th.
Yep.
You know who's had a great career? Obviously with San Diego ties is Kawhi. He's 7th.
Okay.
So as 6th is Chris
Paul. But you're
Paul.
talking about a lot of these guys that you're sprinkling in, they have championships or finals appearances.
Yes, you're right.
Or Jimmy Butler took this team.
No, you're right.
Took Miami to the finals twice.
Yeah, no, you're right. It's an interesting. Well, this is what it proves. You want to play in the NBA for a long time. The max contracts pay a lot, and you can make a lot of money. Like, what's the max right now? Aren't there dudes making 60, 70 a year?
Yeah, I think Jalen's up there. Who are the latest to sign? Because Jokic is going to be up there. You got to be in that 65 range.
Is like Shea in that range?
Shay's in
there.
that 60s. Shea might be the most
in the NBA
right now. Yeah.
Point is, there'll be other guys to get to 500.
Well, it's just going to keep. Yeah, I mean, obviously
going up and up.
The league is not. They're not going to be making any less. I will tell you this. This is kind of the random.
Yeah.
Let's say Draymond Green had said something. This kind of tying the Clipper investigation, all that stuff. But he was arguing for a quick second that the NBA should no longer have a salary cap.
That the NBA should no longer have a salary cap.
Can you imagine? Like, think of an NBA owner.
Right.
You have a salary cap. You only got 12 guys on your roster.
Right. If you didn't have a cap, what you'd pay, you're saying?
No, what I'm saying is how much money the owners are making.
Yeah. I don't know. Probably a lot.
Brother, I mean, tell me one that's more profitable. How big is your NFL? How widespread is your roster?
Right.
MLB, obviously, you got a ton of players that you're paying and everything else. I'm not telling you they're all making 25 a year, but the NBA, you have a salary cap and you only got 12 guys that you're paying. Yeah, you got some two-way players. You got, guys that are in the G League, whatever the case is. In an open market, LeBron would easily have been 100 million. Been 100 million.
Do you think Chris Middleton goes home at night and is like, hey, hon, I'm the 19th highest paid player in the history of the NBA? Because he is.
Chris Middleton was a stud in that championship run for the Bucks. At least I can say that he has an NBA championship and he was a key player in that championship run.
It's a fun list, honestly. Like Kobe, by the way, Kobe's 16th all time in career earnings. Shaq, 26th all time. Tobias Harris, ahead of Shaq, 22nd all time in career earnings.
Where's Bradley Beal?
Oh, very high. 13th.
Beal,
13th all time.
Beal killing it.
He's like the example of what you're talking about, Alan. He's amassed all this wealth, but he doesn't have any rings. He doesn't have, I think he might have one or two like all pro, but like pretty much he's just existed.
And I don't even see them as like, hey, that could be the second best player on a championship team. Not at this stage. I mean, at points, Paul George, PG was the man in Indiana, fell off a cliff after that.
This is an amazing list. This is a very fun exercise. All right, let's switch gears back to the Padres getting ready for a 6-game homestand tomorrow night. Their ownership group will be introduced on Monday. The latest wheelings and dealings with the roster as we potentially get closer on both Miguel Andujar and Samad Taylor. Will they be active prior to the 1st of September or not? We'll discuss it on the other side. We have those tickets to see My Chemical Romance as well. Stay with us. Schaeffer and Sliwa, San Diego Sports 760. We're live on the iHeartRadio app. Hey guys, it is Schaeffer again for my friends at the all-new Jamul Casino Resort, the Players Place. August is a terrific month to get out there with Starlight Pool open. You can experience next level chill, soak up the sun, soak in the views. It's San Diego's ultimate rooftop pool. They have day passes starting at just $40, so you can grab your friends, relax, make it a pool day to remember. Plus, you can keep the weekend vibes going with Sunday pool parties at Starlight Pool featuring live DJs and cocktails, cabanas, all day rooftop energy. This is at the Hotel and Spa at Jamul Casino Resort, where you can experience elevated luxury. They've got their refined hotel stay, rooftop relaxation we're telling you about, indulgent spa treatments, all the excitement of Jamul Casino Resort seamlessly brought together in one unforgettable destination. And now take your stay to the next level with exclusive hotel packages crafted for the ultimate escape. And while you're there, check out all the food and dining options like Jamul 23, with their lobster buffet every day, where you can enjoy all-you-can-eat lobster every day, plus dozens of other delicious stations at the all-new Jamul Casino Resort, the Players Place.
Here's what's trending from the iHeart Sports Network, presented by iHeartAdvertising.com. Padres have off today. They're going to get set to start a weekend series at Petco against the Twins starting tomorrow. In NBA news, we just talked about it. James Harden and the Cavs have agreed on a new 3-year deal worth $97 million with a player option for 28-29 season. And Harden's career earnings will now reach $511 million, making him the fourth player in league history to eclipse the $500 million mark. One NFL note, both the Cowboys and the Saints were fined $500K today for all the fights that the teams got into at their joint practice this week on Tuesday. Run a business and not thinking about radio? Think again, because people are listening to radio more today than they did 20 years ago. And only iHeartRadio connects with more Americans than TV, digital, and even social. Learn how radio can help your business. Call 844-844-iHeart.
If you want tickets to see My Chemical Romance, hit us up on the talkback mic right now and tell us your name and why you want to go. It's a 4-pack of tickets, absolutely free. Open up the iHeartRadio app, search for San Diego Sports 760, click the red talkback mic, and tell us why you want to see My Chemical Romance August 30th at Petco Park. So you were telling me earlier that you had a bit of an adventure earlier today.
Yeah, a little bit of an adventure.
We'll get into what's next for Miguel Andujar and Samad Taylor in a moment, but what's happening? You look a little worn down.
How much do you love? Like you take me as a guy that loves carrying a lot of heavy stuff.
No, I don't carry anything.
Furniture.
Hate all
I
that.
got
Moving,
it, babe.
no.
Throw it on
my wife's always like, hey, let's like move this. I'm like, no.
Let's leave it there. Let's never move it in our lives.
That's my feeling, because I feel like my back is always like tweaked.
I had a couple things that I was getting. It's like a dresser, a couple nightstands. And long story short, I purchased them, and you got to set up a time for a delivery date, all that stuff. So I set up the time. Like, all right, you know what? They're coming in Thursday. They gave me a window between 9 and 1. Okay.
9 p.m., 1 a.m.
Of course. I only do
overnight.
I want it overnight.
Yeah.
So
no,
9 a.m. to 1 p.m.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm getting ready to do my podcast this morning, the Laker NBA show. And I'm not doing it as much now off season. I know there's still a lot going on, but today's one of the mornings I'm doing it.
Right.
So my show starts at 8 a.m. I get a call. I'm not kidding. 7:57, like 7:58.
Yeah.
And I'm like, all right, I got no idea what this is. I got a couple of minutes. Let me answer it. Really nice guy. He's like, hey, I'm outside. I'm like, what are you outside for?
The
what?
9 a.m. guy was there at 7:58.
Yeah. I'm like, outside for what? He's like, I'm here to deliver the stuff. I'm like,
can't do it now.
Listen, brother, like we're going to be making a lot of noise here. And like, I'm assuming, right. He's coming up. He's got a couple people with him, whatever.
Yeah.
I'm assuming this is what but I told him, I'm like, look, I did the 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. slot because I can't come down because I'm doing a podcast. Yeah. Until a podcast, whatever. So this guy's like, he basically says, I mean, again, really nice guy. He's like, all right, I'll wait till 9. So this guy just sits and waits in this freaking truck for an hour. I got nothing. Like I can't do anything.
Watching the podcast comment?
No, I'm on the second floor. He's down there. This poor guy. Yeah. Okay, but there's nothing I can do. I'm 2 minutes away from the show starting. I can't come down there. I can't help you out in any possible way. And you told me 9. So I'm like I don't feel bad from that perspective.
What do you mean help out? You needed to bring your own furniture into your place? No,
I'm talking about help out, like open the door, show them where it is and everything else. So 9 o'clock rolls. Right at 9, I shoot the guy, call him like, hey, I'm ready. I'm coming down. I come down. And he's like parked across the street. And he's like, where do you want me to drop this off? I'm like, in the unit. He's like, no, this is just a drop off. I'm like, I don't even know what that means. Like, I'm not even sure this stuff is on like a pallet and it's like completely wrapped and everything else. And he's like, you didn't get the white glove service. I'm like, I don't know what the hell you're talking about. I don't know what the white glove service is. I paid for delivery. I paid for all that stuff. I'm just kind of like, I thought this thing is getting delivered into
the house.
I can't lift any of this stuff. Like, I don't know what you want me to do. Plus, I live on like, it's kind of like a main street. So you're basically dropping it off. Yeah, you're dropping it off. All right, cool enough, dude. He's like, all right, I'll try to help you. I mean, cool. We'll take some of this stuff up. All right. So now got the two nightstands. Get him on one of his dollies. We're good. Not that bad. Kind of get him upstairs. This, again, nice enough. He's kind of in a sense, he kind of feels bad because there's just major miscommunication.
Right.
I would have, of course, paid to get this thing up there. I can't do it by myself. I'm not, who am I going to go ask?
Could have called me.
Random people. I would have said
Schaeffer. No chance in hell.
Then comes the dresser. Brother, I swear in my life, okay? I could barely get this thing off the ground. Partially because I'm also not known for my deadlift weight and everything else.
Yeah, but you kind of are.
Brother, I could not lift
it
this
even
thing
an inch
off the ground. And even he was like, I don't know how the hell we're getting this thing up. We end up, Dolly is out. I'm sweating like crazy. Okay.
Yeah.
Dolly is up. We turn this thing on its back. It's sideways. We're trying to get through the elevator. I mean, heaven and earth to get this thing up to my place and get it eventually up. Back is a little bit sore. We got the dresser up there, but I'm going to tell you something. If you ever have like whatever that extra fee is to go and get whatever the service is up there, pay for it and don't think twice. I thought I did. Apparently, I don't know. Maybe I did.
Here's what I was going to say.
Yeah.
You better live where you're going to live for forever.
Can't do that.
Because you're not going to want to move this 1 million pound dresser ever again. Or you're going to have to pay someone to move it. And you have to pay good money probably to move a 1 million pound dresser.
I think I do have some of the heaviest stuff you'll ever.
Did it come with clothing? Like, was it loaded?
Here's the dresser question.
Yeah.
Did you take the drawers out?
That's what I'm saying.
Okay. So here's exactly what I told him. I said, why don't we take the drawers out?
Right.
This is his exact words. He's like, those drawers are going to do nothing of the actual weight of the thing. So I just kind of rode with what he said. But I'm with you. I would have taken the drawers out. That's kind of how I.
Dude, I'm not it's worth the money to get it taken care of. I don't want to pay for
it. Or you can take out your back.
Yeah,
One
that's
of
the
the
thing.
two.
You're either going to end up in a hospital or
you can
write
save
the check.
$175,
right?
Or you can take out your back and go through your insurance.
Exactly.
I am notorious in my friends group. I will not. I hate moving so much. It's one of like my top 3 to where I will not ask anybody to help me move. So then they cannot
want them to ask.
Yes, I don't want them to guilt me into it.
How about this? How about when someone asks you to move and you're younger, like, hey, will you help me move? I'll get pizza. I'm like, no, those don't equal each other. There is no, like, a slice of pizza is $3.
Like, do you mean you're buying a pizzeria shop that I'm
Right.
investing in?
Don't,
like, you're
don't
giving
tell
me
me,
shares.
hey, will you help me for 4
Such a
hours?
good
I'll
point.
get you pizza.
That's
Those
such a
don't
good point.
equate. Like, I'm going to end up with medical bills.
I'm gonna get a 6-pack and a Little Caesars. I'm like, first off, that's not even.
What?
Can we get better quality? No, I'm getting the hot take or whatever that is.
Unbelievable.
That's
you look all right.
That was quite an experience. And I had a call at 10 a.m. and I had to
How
take
long
the
did
dog.
it take?
Have you?
An hour?
9:55.
Took an hour.
There was 3 items. 2 of them went in one trip.
Are they placed perfectly
1
now
hour.
in your spot, or you're gonna have to move them? They're placed like you don't have to move them a foot because that would be a disaster.
Until I move again, and then God, I don't know what I'm going to do when it's time to move again,
dude.
But that will happen. I was taking the dog out so I had to call at 10. And the dog's hallucinating. The dog, the neighbor upstairs just like takes 3 steps. He's like, "That's it. We're getting bombed. The whole place is going down." Like, he's got it doesn't do good with noises.
What about the neighbor upstairs?
If the neighbor just takes steps from the living room to the kitchen.
Oh, you hear it.
You hear some of it. The dog.
See, I can't deal with
the
that.
dog starts like low crawl
because of what's going on upstairs.
He's not sure what the hell's going on. He's got to like see every noise that he sees.
I think you might have to move.
No, we're fine. Okay. No,
I think you may.
I'm doing a year at minimum.
What does all this have to do with Samad Taylor and Miguel Andahar?
Nothing.
What do we have an update or the latest on Samad Taylor is in a rehab right now? Well, Miguel Andahar has been out for a while at this point.
We were talking a little bit earlier about the Ethan Salas stuff and which of these players would you like to see? Samad Taylor, where he is, he began rehab assignment with AAA El Paso. So we'll see what that means. Andujar probably a little bit further. It says Andujar is out of his splint and beginning a formal swing progression following his right wrist fracture.
They can, I mean, do they need these guys? We haven't talked much about them.
We haven't.
You know, I mean, are these the pieces that they need over the youngster like Ethan Salas that everyone is again clamoring for?
I think you want what you've already seen.
Right.
I think there's a little bit of that. Like I don't. What did you think of Samad Taylor in this?
I thought he was really good. That was their
phenomenal.
offense was at their low point, and he helped at least get it up to respectability.
I thought he was phenomenal. I thought he brought like a certain energy, a little bit of a swag. You know, some of that stuff. I think they needed. And Andujar's had some moments this year as well.
Yeah, I mean, I think it. Like, I'm trying to think about the roster crunch and how they're going to fit them both on the roster. I don't know if they're going to be able to fit both of them on the roster, honestly, with both Samad Taylor and Miguel Andar. Although the rosters are going to expand. But yeah, those are names we haven't talked a lot about that could be active sooner rather than later for the Padres. All right, we've got those My Chemical Romance tickets to give away. We'll do that on the other side. If you want them, last chance to win them, open up the free iHeartRadio app and search for San Diego Sports 760. Click the red talkback mic, and we'll give away a 4-pack of tickets to see My Chemical Romance. Just tell us your name and why you want to see the show. Plus, on the other side,
I'm starting a moving business.
If you want John to help you move your stuff.
Schaeffer and Sliwa are moving to the. We're starting we have a trucking company.
I'm not helping.
Oh no, you're only an investor.
Here's what we're going to mention on the other side. How are Aztec football ticket sales heading into their first season in the Pac-12? We had an update there in the UT. We'll share it with you on the other side here on Schaeffer and Sliwa, San Diego Sports 760. We're live on the iHeartRadio app. Something big is coming, and that's on September 2nd. DraftKings Game Day arrives with massive deals, exclusive deals, and an all-day celebration built for sports fans. The countdown has begun. All roads lead to game day.
The DraftKings Sports app is now live in all 50 states. That means California, from Texas to Florida. Every fan is in on the excitement. One app, every sport, all 50 states. DraftKings Game Day is yours. Remember the date, September 2nd. DraftKings Game Day is the kickoff of a new season, a new era, and the biggest day in sports history. Get pumped. Get ready to celebrate. New DraftKings customers, sign up with the code SD760. Spend $5 to get 115 rewards within 14 days. That's code SD760.
In partnership with DraftKings, the crown is yours. Event trading offered by DraftKings Predictions, a CFTC registered introducing broker. Trading involves risk of loss. Market availability varies. Eligibility restrictions apply. $50 every 7 days via click to claim, issued in non-withdrawable predictions dollars that expire in 1 year. Ends August 23rd. Terms dkng.co/predictions promo. Nationwide based on sportsbook predictions and free-to-play sports contest availability varies by state. Alan, we have a winner.
Okay.
Of a 4-pack of tickets to see My Chemical Romance.
Do we want to give it to them, or I mean, I don't know.
Well, yeah, they have won the opportunity to drive us to the concert and hang out with us. No, they've won a 4-pack of tickets to see My Chemical Romance. Can we get a drum roll, Alan? Thank you. On cue. The winner of those 4 tickets to see My Chemical Romance August 30th at Petco Park is Jared. Congrats, Jared.
I bet Jared.
Right.
Does Jared know that he's got to help us anytime we need to move somewhere?
Yes. He read the rules and restrictions
because it's really small print and it's on the back of the page.
It says, Jared, listen, if I need a new laptop, I'm calling you, and we're going to the Apple store and we're going to get one. But you also get a 4-pack of tickets to see My Chemical. No, it's absolutely free. You got the 4-pack. Enjoy the show August 30th. Tickets at Ticketmaster.com. We have another surprise giveaway right now to a caller. 877-767-4760. Caller 2, you have a 4-pack of tickets to see Muse, August 29th, North Island Credit Union Amphitheater. Caller 2 right now, 4-pack of tickets to see Muse on August 29th, coming up in about a week at the North Island Credit Union Amphitheater. Call right now, though, 877-767-4760. It's what I call surprise giveaway.
I like that.
It was a surprise.
So kind of like a little sneak attack there. Nobody really knew.
4-pack of tickets.
There you go.
See Muse. There are the
good work
lines.
Out of you.
Okay, Aztec ticket sales, right? Mm-hmm. I know you've been talking about your Aztec tickets, right, for the upcoming season. So,
critical, by the way. This is a critical
year.
This is critical year, but it's also critical for us too. Like I think if San Diego State's playing some good ball, it's the new Pac-12, and you got coaches. Who was the coach that was making fun of San Diego State? Which, by the way, I got no issue with it. I got no problem with it.
Schaeffer, the Wyoming head coach.
I got no problem with you calling out if the fans are not supporting, like the program is performing, and San Diego State fans are not showing up, or San Diego's not showing up. Now he was a little crazy with some of the stuff. Some of his stuff, but critical to support the team. What do we got there?
Okay, so you haven't seen this. San Diego State ticket sales compared to 2025, are they up or down? They are up.
Okay.
From
Easy,
2025. Their goal for season tickets is 9,000. They're not yet there, but they are at about 8,400. They finished at 8,100 last year. So they've sold 300 more season tickets than they did last year. They have a goal of another 600 or so on the season ticket side. Okay. This doesn't account for 4-packs, which they're doing right now. They have military discounted tickets as well that they're doing right now. Doesn't account for single game, which are on sale right now at goaztecs.com. But around 8,400 season tickets. By comparison, 2024, 8,750. So within reach of pass, there's still 16 days, and there's going to be the anticipation for the year. Can they get to 9,000 plus? That was the goal for the season tickets.
I don't know how to feel about that. I think great that they're above what they did last year.
Yeah, by about 300.
2024, you told me that 8,700 something like
somewhere there. Yep.
Yeah. We'll eventually have to get to a number that just shatters that. I mean, it really that's just the reality. Like they're going to eventually have to get to a point, and as long as they keep doing what they need to do on the field, I think it will happen.
I agree. I mean, coming off the 9-win year.
Yep.
Sean Lewis back for year 3. I do think there is more excitement. I do think we'll see larger crowds at Snapdragon Stadium this year.
Offensively, too, there's a lot of hype there.
Improved. Yep.
You're going to have some better matchups, I think, naturally, because you're in the Pac-12. I get it. It's not the old Pac-12, but it's going to take a second. But I'll just say this: trending in the right direction.
Yep.
But I don't know what that's going to look like based off of 9,000 ticket sales, season ticket sales. I don't know what that's going to equate to once you're in each game, and how full does it look, and are the athletes looking up at the crowd and the student section, and that's kind of giving them that real home field advantage. We'll have to wait and see.
This is interesting. Like in the article, he talks about Pac-12 peers. I mean, Boise runs away in this category.
What does it say?
What do you think? He has the Boise number.
How many? What's their
seats? 35-ish. Seats.
They got to be. They got to be at 18 to 20,000.
They're at 20.
Okay.
Now the other schools.
That's your goal.
Not everything's out there. San Diego State was $15K the first year of Snapdragon Stadium, by the way. But
$15K season ticket sales?
First year of Snapdragon Stadium.
Wow.
2022. Washington State, though, this year,
Okay.
8,800. Again, San Diego State's in the 84 range.
Okay.
Utah State, 8,420.
Mhm.
So near identical to San Diego State. Some of them are in public, right? Like
Are
Fresno
those
State.
is the highest? Is the second highest that 8,800? Or
No,
is there?
because Fresno, a reporter covering Fresno says the school anticipates around 14K. Fresno's always drawn
Right.
incredibly
It's
well.
really good.
They've always drawn
It's
incredibly.
really good.
So, okay, Boise 20,
Mhm.
Fresno 14, and then SDSU, Wazoo, Utah State 8 to 9.
I got no excuse for them. They can't be in the. They're eventually we got to get this thing to that 14, 15K
Right.
range. That's
Right.
where it has to be. And if that's where your season tickets are, then you know that there's going to be X amount of tickets that are sold that
You
are
got that
individual
built-in-
tickets.
Right. This doesn't
As
include
in on
student.
top
I
and
mean, you got another 5K plus student. You got staff. You got visiting.
But if you're in that 15,000 seat range of ticket sales, of season ticket sales, you got a lot of games that are going to look very, very full.
Yeah, because think about it. 15 plus 5 in
Mhm.
students is 20, plus a couple thousand in single game is 22, plus visiting fans, 23. All of a sudden, you're in the mid 20s.
And this is what it comes down to. It's like you got to be one of the best in this conference,
Mhm.
period. And if you got, I don't want to hear kind of the, well, look, Washington State's here and Utah State's here and this and that. Your goal is to be one of the best in this conference. If Boise State's putting up 20,000. Now, Boise State's kind of like the equivalent of San Diego State basketball.
Yeah.
They've been doing it for years, so they have that built in.
Yep.
Fresno State's got a competitive and certainly they got a fan base that
Yep.
cares about their football program. We got to at least be striving to be where Fresno State is, and there's no reason why San Diego can't make that happen.
A sneaky part of that conversation, by the way, and I don't have it in front of me, and I don't think I will in this amount of time. I think it's Fresno State that has led the group of 6 in attendance. By and large, they do it every single year. Their stadium is larger than Boise's, and they draw. They'll draw 40,000 people. So that they have this league, by the way, is going to have really good environments. Boise, Fresno, Oregon State was in the old Pac-12. They've renovated
Utah
the stadium.
State's got they got a good.
Washington State. I was
Sure,
up there last
sure.
year. They draw well. I mean, this league is going to have good crowds, good draws, good stadiums. Colorado State has a new stadium like San Diego State. Texas State, I'm sure they're excited about being in this league. So it's going to have some good environments. And hopefully that includes, obviously, Snapdragon Stadium coming up.
All right, we got
fall.
work to do. We got work.
Are you
to
going
do.
to work on it tonight?
We got work to do. No, I'm not going to.
No, you're going to move a dresser tonight.
No, I'm done.
No, you're not going
That's
to move
it.
anything, actually.
Not moving anything anymore.
By the way, tomorrow on the show, speaking of the Aztecs, Kyle Bonagura from ESPN is going to join us. He wrote a fascinating piece on the new Pac-12, so to speak, and Kyle Bonagura from ESPN will join us on tomorrow's show.
Alan, all you have to do is just channel your SDFC rage, and you'll be able to lift both dressers at
no
once.
problem at all.
SDFC, right. He
I
was
should have
just
done
mad
that
that they
last night.
lost last night.
I was mad at they lost last night, but I was more mad at Dreyer for
I'm missing the match because of 2 yellows. All right, Kevin
Screwed the
AC
team.
tomorrow. Also on the show, Padres getting ready for the Twins tomorrow at Petco. We're back tomorrow at 3 for Brent and Alan. I'm John. Keep it here. This has been Schaeffer and Sliwa on San Diego Sports 760. We've been live on the iHeartRadio app. Peace.